Alrighty, here we go. Holy moly, that took way longer than I thought it would. And I already had people waiting for me. Well, thank you for your patience. I deeply apologize. This just took a little bit longer than I was originally anticipating with the kitten being absolute chaos. Adorable, but absolute chaos. Alrighty. Hopefully, looks like everything on my back end is working just fine. Just gonna figure that out real fast. Make sure OBS isn't screwing up again.
Mic off. Mic
Okay,
on.
alright, yeah, we're good to go. Okay, OBS is finally working. Yes, final. I said chaos, but not the capital C kind of chaos. This is the normal kind of chaos of a kitten attacking your puppy's rear end and attacking a soda ring in the background. Luna, what's going on? You just saw the video? Yeah. She's been a bit of a handful today, in general. I woke up this morning, she was pawing at my face, trying and bit my nose at about, I don't know, 3:30 this morning, trying to play. I was like, I'm just trying to sleep, little one, please.
Mic off. Mic on.
Ugh. Well, if I randomly go quiet for a brief period of time, I apologize. I am still feeling a little under the weather. Um, I don't know what it is that got me, but my asthma has been acting up like absolute crazy. So I've had to hit my inhaler multiple times today. So hopefully I'm not going to be, doing that too much today. But I sincerely apologize if it starts interrupting your enjoyment today. So,
Mic off. Mic on.
all right, today I wanted to hop in and do a little bit of this. I was going to do a painting stream. My hands will not stop shaking. I've had to hit my inhaler so much today that I've got the albuterol shakes pretty much perpetually. Unfortunately, no painting today. But I figured if I can't keep my hands steady, might as well play a game where I just got to shoot at large hordes of people and entertain everybody. Hopefully, anyway. And I've also to play a little bit of catch up because I haven't quite caught up to my Xbox profile. I had everyone pretty much max leveled, but on this one, just my Arbites and my Hive Scum. Um, but I've been working on it all night last night, and my Hive Scum's coming along pretty nicely, I think. I am not an A tier player. I'd like to think I'm not even a C tier player, but we'll see how it goes. So, uh, another update, today I've actually spent the vast majority of my morning working on a script for my next full-length video. I'm about halfway through the script at this point, which is nice. I'm aiming for about 20 minutes. It's a little rambly so far, but I'm going to go through and update it. What is the game name? This is Darktide, my friend. Warhammer Darktide, which I think has frozen. It might have crashed. Did Darktide crash? Well, I don't know. Okay, we got music. I've got a cursor. We're just gonna have to wait it out. Yeah, I'm playing Darktide today. Like I said, hands are a little too shaky to actually hold a brush like I was planning on doing today. But I am very much excited to at least hang out with you guys and do some killing. Best South Park character, Professor Chaos, of course. You know what, Stolas? That seems about right. That seems about right for you. Luna, I assembled the weapons I didn't use on the fetid blow drones. Oh, nice. To use on bases. That's really cool, actually. Funnily enough, my buddy Josh JD from Sprue Saga, he's actually been working on his Death Guard army. One second.
Mic off. Mic on.
Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry about that. He's been working on his Death Guard army quite a bit, and he's finally narrowed it down to he needs a few more models. He wants to get a Great Unclean one. He wants to get some Nurglings. He said there was a couple of vehicles. I can't remember what it was that he said he needed to get. And he said that was pretty much everything he needed for his army. And I reminded him, yep, I think the game's fucking crashed. That's awesome. I'm going to have to Alt F4. Alright, pretend you don't see this, guys. I'm sorry to say. There we go. I'm just going to have to stop it and relaunch it. Hooray! This is lovely. I love doing this. I reminded him, however, he's missing the best model
Battery
for a
low.
Death Guard army. Of course my headset battery's low. God bless America. The Slobbity Bilepiper. You can't have... the new Defiler. Thank you, Josh. Everybody, JD from Spruta Saga here.
Charging battery.
But I reminded him he needs the Slobbity Bilepiper. You can't have a Death Guard army without Slobbity Bilepiper. Lord Nerd, I used to play Chaos, specifically Nurgle, and now I'm an Imperium lover. Well, Lord Nerd, I'm glad you saw the light. Welcome back. We'd love to have you. Stolas and Luna, however, might like heavily disagree with you. The Omnisci isn't happy with you. I did not sacrifice enough Skitarii today, unfortunately, to make this work. I don't know what's going on. I was having no problem earlier. Yeah. So anyway, I've been working with that. Been talking with JD about getting the Slobbity Bilepiper. Space Mom! Stola, Space Mom is here. Say hi. Han, leave the kitten alone. No, sir. Sorry, Void Kitty and the puppy are playing in the corner there. A traitor to traitors is definitely something. If you betray a betrayer, is the amount of betrayers in the world still the same? Is that how that works? See if we can get back in that session. That would be nice.
Mic off. Mic on.
To be honest, my largest army is my Space Marines army. Listen, everybody starts out with Space Marines. Everybody. Even if they say they didn't, they started out with Space Marines. It's their first major exposure to it. I started out with Space Marines, and I'm not even happy to say this. Final's gonna gloat in the chat. My very first model I ever built was a Space Marine, and I painted him as an Ultramarine because I didn't know any better. Holy moly! We're in it now. Stola says, "Hello, Mom. I'm really hoping you love Alaska." She's been 3 times. She loves Alaska. Do not worry about that, my friend. You started with Chaos Space Marines. Well, see, Chaos Space Marines, still Space Marines. I'm shooting my ally in the back. You know, funnily enough, though, is Space Marines are like deceptively more difficult to paint for beginners than you'd think. Weirdly enough, it doesn't feel like that would be the case intuitively. At least I've struggled because it's, you know, you've got a lot of conical and cylinder shapes on a Space Marine that I often struggled making something look pretty decent on a Space Marine. Weirdly enough, though, I found painting like Cadians are actually much easier for me personally. Come on. Here we got the Beast of Nurgle, that's good. I am swinging at nothing. And I'm down. Alright, let's see. The reason I left Chaos is that they were way too detailed. Most of the Death Guard don't have helmets. You know what? I can't say I fault you there. The trim is what really gets a lot of people. You know, I've seen the Helldrake models, which look fantastic. But Helldrakes are trim galore, and it's just so much. We'll see. We'll see. Shows what I know. Well, here's the thing, brother man. Like, they're often considered like really good for beginners and whatnot. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like special enough that I struggle with Space Marines. They're pretty wide blank canvas for the basic models, and there's not a lot of detail to them, so they should be easy. But I've always kind of struggled with making something that looks good, and that's just a me thing.
Mic off. Mic on.
All right, sorry about that. I know I keep muting my mic. I'm trying not to cough in your ear. I don't have a button to mute on the keyboard. I should hotkey one of those. I'm stuck. Yep, I got myself stuck. Damn.
Mic off. Mic on.
I'm gonna have to stop doing that. I'm just gonna have to start. Where's my freaking inhaler? Yeah, I don't know. I've always struggled with them. I'm kind of weird about that. That's why I try not to make concrete. Here's the thing. I will say this again about the concrete statements thing. So is I am super special, and we just died. Excellent. I'm dumb. I'm always the one that, no, I appreciate not coughing already. Watch DSP today. That's very true. DSP, man. I try not to DSP anybody. That guy, I don't know. He's going to be around a lot longer than I am. The world could end tomorrow, and I have a feeling that he'll still be around doing everything but pay. Thanks, babe. Thanks. Just on my headset, I don't have a mute button. I don't have a mute button that I've hotkeyed. I should do that, but
Mic off. Mic on.
Good God, sorry about that. I should hotkey one, but yeah, DSP is gonna be around a lot longer than anybody. I can't talk too much crap about him. The man at least makes a living. I don't agree with him on anything that he does as far as professionally. But he's definitely more successful than I am. I mean, I wish I could blow $20,000 a month on a mobile game and get away with it, but I can't even blow $100 on a mobile game right now. We don't have that much money in the budget. When I started with Warhammer, I thought I knew so much about painting that I didn't. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm gonna try reading that. When I started with Warhammer, I thought I knew so much about painting that I didn't. And over the next few months, I had to learn a very harsh lesson. The thing about painting is I've watched so many. You should. The soft voice ladies will stop saying, "You're not wrong." It's probably a setting I could do for that. But. The lesson I learned is that you can learn all the theory that you possibly... We're going to tone it down a little bit for my first starting one. The first lesson I learned about painting is this. You can learn all the theory that you want. 90% of painting is not theory when it comes to painting. It's brush control. And the only way to get brush control is to learn. It's not something that can be taught. Which is the hardest part about the whole ordeal. I wish it wasn't that case, but it is.
That you retrieve all viable samples without delay. God Emperor walk with you.
Okay.
What's all this then?
All right.
Doesn't look like soldiering to me.
Into it I go.
We have discussed this, Knight Commander Duregor. Denying the enemy access to their contagions will ease the road to triumph.
Nonsense. Triumph is
Oh,
born
Hold on. Gotta fix this. Oop, hit the wrong button. There we go. Damn, mouse was glitching up a little bit.
Both will be needed before we are done.
Excellent. Yes, all glory. The finest tradition of the gods.
There we go.
Strike team, you will need the base cipher to access the Excite vault. Proceed to the servitor colony.
Services, eh? Tricky code.
I'm shooting at everything but the guy I need to hit. There we go.
This is gonna be fun. Ah, doggy! Ain't that place for you?
There we are. Oh shit. Okay. My mouse screwed up again. There we go. So, not getting anything here. Here we go. Ah, damn it. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. I was pulling up some stuff on my end, and my mouse is messing up here, so... no Butin. Imagine being able to flex wealth irresponsibly isn't cool. You're not wrong, Stolas. I'm not saying that DSP is cool. I'm in fact the exact opposite. But the man makes enough of a living that I can't judge him too harshly. I just don't like him. Jesus, that's a lot of dudes. Give me some breathing room, please. There we go. The only thing I learned is that painting yellow, especially Citadel 6. Painting yellow in general does suck. I agree. The problem is that yellow gets really chalky. Final actually gave me a tip, which was when you're painting yellow to paint over pink, which is not something that I was even aware of as far as a technique. He says that he thought it was a load of bull as well, but when he tried it, it actually worked out really well. So I'm probably going to have to give that a trick. Because my paint scheme I want to do for my knights is yellow and black, and black can be very difficult to work with as well, depending on how it's layered, because it's really hard to shade properly with it.
If I want to eat cake.
There we go. If they gave you a choice of function for what servitor, what would it choose? Listen, I think it would be interesting. I mean, obviously, there seems to be some sort of assault servitor in the trailer that I saw. However, a servitor that could aid allies that are down would be really interesting. I think that'd be really cool. That or some sort of, like, medical gameplay where maybe they could heal a little bit of damage over time or, like, use... stims for you on yourself or allies, I think would be really, really cool to use. I don't know if that's what they'll do. It's a unique gameplay mechanic that I don't think that they already have in the game yet, so I'm curious to see if they go that route with it or not. But it'd be really interesting to see that. I know the Game Workshop wishes that the Black Templars were one of the founding chapters. Yes, that does seem to be the prevailing feeling online. And I kind of agree with it. They have much more love for the Black Templars in terms of the lore and in terms of models and bits that they have that even the Imperial Fists kind of get left in the dust. Is there a server that only serves the Adeptus Sororitas or something? Well, kind of. Oh, that's my friend. Kind of. Like, what they love is, like, cherubs. They love using cherubs. It's not that exclusive to them, necessarily, but they're really big fans of it. I guess the whole, like, angel, warrior, nun motif kind of, like, leans towards using, cherubs. Nothing like having human baby servitors, to serve in not quite death / life. It's really kind of, like, dark in a very cool way. Instead of black, do dark gray, you can shade. You know what? Ma, that's actually a really good point. I should do that. I've got several off blacks I'm planning on using I'm also very excited to use the airbrush because I've heard that it helps with like yellow being kind of chalky and kind of grainy depending on how you paint it, and it helps with blacks because it lets the under layers come through a little bit more. Sorry, did not mute myself that time. But I think the airbrush would be really, really good to use for that application. Although I am planning on doing, I've got a lot of off blacks that aren't like pure black that I think I could use really, really well. Which I'm very excited to try. Of course, my wife giving me crap about not painting, doing anything but painting is not, she's not wrong.
Just go with it, love.
Okay, he's up.
Stand unhappy.
Well, now officially out of ammo. I should wait to use my ammo crate to... I'm trying to attack my friendly Ogren because he's got a shield. That's funny.
You should now be able to realign the cargo elevator.
Same theory as painting watercolor white flowers. Oh, yeah. You see, I'm building up from white. I've heard, you know, start with like a gray or a light gray. There we go. Has always been like highly recommended, and I'm thinking about doing so. That's probably the one reason I stopped working on my Leagues of Votan as much. Because I started out with a color scheme of like white armor and I started out doing white, and I thought I had a good idea of what to do, and I clearly did not. So I think you're absolutely right there with the whites, and I'm gonna definitely give that a shot with the blacks, because the black and yellow color scheme, the yellow intimidates me more than the black, but I do want to make sure I'm doing a good job, and so building up those gradients is going to be a little difficult if I start out with a full true black. And especially Citadel paints, they're like very pigmented, so they've got a lot of color to them. So like their blacks are really dark black, but they have a really nice one that's like a super dark gray that I think would work really well for layering. Excuse me. Yep, I'm just DSPG everybody. I'm sorry about that. Off blacks are usually grays or browns, depending on whether or not it's warm or cool. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Anyone who's familiar, I think Corvus black, is that a warm black? Lord Nerd says you're currently working on some kit bashes for your Hawk Lords army. Well, firstly, Lord Nerd, you have to post pictures in the Discord. Hawk Lords are really cool, and Jesus, yeah, it's a hound. I'm scared. Hawk Lords are really cool. I love, like, the purple on them are really nice. Hawk Lords are cool. I really like them. Them and the Howling Griffins, I think, are underrated chapters of Space Marines that deserve more love and lore in the community. Although I kind of agree that the Howling Griffin scheme is a little loud. And the kitten is attacking my foot. Ow! Go away! Jesus, go away! Leave me alone! Sorry. I'm being attacked by a cat. Lurking a bit, trying not to talk about Tau too much while I'm gone. You son of a bitch, Final. Let's see here. Trust me, no one is talking about Tau. Thank you, Lord Nerd. Thank you. I'm certainly not. Jeez. The accusations of being called a Xenos fan and a lover of chaos, I resent the accusations, Final. I made one comment about how the sculpts of a Chaos faction in Age of Sigmar look pretty cool, and we were like, "Oh wow, you've really changed, man."
Vicarious is bone. What a magnificent sight. Decayed almost to nothing.
They will still serve the God Emperor.
What's funny is I have to make a video. I've been working on a script for my next video. I'm about halfway through it. I've spent about 3 hours working on it, and I think it's coming along quite nicely. But the next video I have to make after that, I promised somebody a long time ago. You could say I lost a bet. I have to make a video about the Tau and basically do Imperial Knights versus Tau. I am not looking forward to doing that. I have to do way too much research on Tau. And the more I look at the models and I learn about the lore of some of the Tau models and like see their stats in game, I'm like, ow, that's gonna hurt the fight. I don't want to give them the props that that they might actually be a pretty solid faction, because I don't want to give the Tau the time of day. But I think low-key, I think some of their models might actually be able to decimate any knight in my army pretty easily, and I'm not happy about it. Damn it. Got it. Damn. Other than the Tau being a pain in the ass to play against, they do have a nice paint scheme. Unfortunately, you are true. You should become a Tau VTuber? Shut up, Stolas. No, I refuse. No, sir. The kittens are the true follower of Corn. Listen, you talk about that, Luna. Let me tell you a story. We brought Inky home for the first night. You know, she's now living here. We've got her separate from the rest of the litter. We were able to break them up because they're old enough. We brought her home. First night we had her, she attacked me and drew blood no less than twice. I'm standing there at the edge of the bed. I'm sleeping in the living room because I don't feel good and I don't want to get my wife sick. Again. So I'm standing there just talking to her, and this cat sprints up on top of the bed, sprints to the edge of the mattress, jumps off, flies through the air, latches herself to my thigh, sinks her claws into my skin, is drawing blood, and I was screaming because she was right next to a very sensitive part, and I was worried that she was about to stab me if she kept trying to climb, and she thought about it, so I grabbed her and very lightly tossed her back onto the bed. And then, not 15 minutes later, I'm walking out of the bedroom. She pulls the same maneuver again, and this time latches herself to the back of my knee, and manages to draw blood again. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, between this cat and me live streaming building a model, there's more blood getting drawn than at a freaking blood bank. I'm pretty sure Korn is very happy with this household. I will get back to muting my mic here in a minute. I will actually program a hotkey here very shortly, so I do apologize. In the middle of combat, can't really take the time to take my hand off the keyboard. Come on. And I missed.
Curious. We have the cipher and a series of encrypted coordinates.
Nothing outside the main city.
Oh, I got dogged.
Mistaken. And Maximilian Gregor is
I am so stupid. What did I miss? What class are we farming? Right now, I'm trying to get my last level on my Hive Scum. I am working on getting him to level 30. I'm 29. I'm like a quarter of the way there so far. The irony here, I'm still mad about Final saying something about Tau. Here I am. I've gone on a bigger rant about Tau than I ever wanted to. I'm farming the last level of my Hive Scum. After that, I have very low levels of everything else. Between that and the RBDs, the Ganger and the RBDs are my highest ranked characters of all time. I'm super excited to try out the Skitarii. but I need to level up my other classes at some point too. I just think the town need better writing. I don't hate them in the setting. I don't hate them in general. I agreed. I think they need better writing in the setting overall. I don't think that they're bad necessarily. Like, the concept is bad. They just started off at being the good guys in the setting, and they've never been able to get away from that for me. Plus, they're icky Xenos. Like, listen, you as a Chaos fan, right? You and I can agree. At least we're human.
Mic off. Mic on.
There we go. I posted a couple of vids of the other two kittens in the Discord. Is that the one? Is it the one with Clyde climbing the bathroom curtain? Because that was funny. Oh Jesus!
This duty will be a trying one.
Let's see. Febreze needs to trim the claws. Yeah, like, stop chewing on the cable. No, stop it. Quit chewing on that cable. It's not for cats. Jesus. Trying to keep her out of anything is way too freaking hard. I didn't think Inky was this much of a Chaos Goblin. She is a Chaos Goblin, for sure. I love her so much, though. Do I think Vulcan will return in 11th edition? I hope so. You know what, Lord Nerd? I think if there is an edition that Vulcan returns in, this would be the edition to do it. With us returning to Armageddon, Armageddon is the world that we lost Vulcan on. You know, he disappeared on Armageddon. I think this is the best chance for him to come back. So yeah, I think we could see him come back. I think if there's an edition, this would be this edition. I'll say this though, I don't. I'm trying to jump, damn it. There. I'm gonna just dash instead. I think, like, if we're going by the ones that they've teased in chronological order, they teased the lion way back when. There was, God, I forget the context and what book it was in, but there was a character, I think it was a Space Wolf character, maybe? Some psyker that had a vision of, like, a sleeper in the rock, which would be the Lionel Johnson, and a chariot, a thundercloud chariot pulled by white lightning, which to me screams White Scars. So Jagatai was teased, and if we're going chronologically, it should be Jagatai. But knowing GW, they're going to go with what they've been building hype for. I think it's probably going to be either Russ, but I have Vulcan as my wild card. So we could see Vulcan return, and I would like to see him return. I think he's a great character. I have a theory, though. I think he is going to return, but I think he's actually, like, chronologically in the timeline, he's probably the first one, too. I think he's been back for a while. I just think he's decided after Armageddon and seeing the Imperium begin to fall, he always wanted his quiet life as a farmer, and I think he's been doing that. But I do think he comes back, and I do think he comes back sooner than most people think. Ooh, that was close.
Higher Delta 175. You are close to your goal.
Jesus, I'm just trying not to get shot. Oh my god. Well, I should not have fired that. I should have waited.
You're a real bone
There we go. Let's see, what else here? Let's see. Law, yes, Blinky trying to join the English Premier League. That's funny. All of the Chaos Marines, what's the worst one? The worst ones to paint are Thousand Suns. I agree with you. I agree with you. Thousand Suns have a lot of iconography and a lot of filigree on their armor that makes it a pain. And you have to have really good brush control. Or have a lot of masking tape that you're comfortable with putting on, but you'll spend as much time doing that as you would painting, so it's kind of a waste in my opinion. Oh, you already got it. Never mind. I just have faith that the true War Master Abaddon leading us to glory. Listen, if you want to talk about true War Master, we need to bring Horus back. I think Horus coming back would be dope. Because at the end of the day, fuck Abaddon. Alright, we can all agree. Abaddon sucks. All my homies hate Abaddon. Veteran or Zealot, better teammate? Ooh. I don't know. When I played Zealot as my main on the Xbox, I loved playing Zealot. I had so much fun with, like, the power of the God Emperor compels you ability that just stun locks a lot of enemies, shuts down demon hosts. And the fire grenades are really good. I have to say, I think the Zealot takes it. A Veteran... Okay, Veteran has a higher skill ceiling. Oh, I just got shotgunned off a ledge. Veteran has a higher skill ceiling, so... Oh, shit. So, like, you need to be really on point to be a good Veteran, but if you are, you're a better teammate. Like, you're going to be doing more damage, you're going to be, like, helping your teammate a lot more than the Zealot. The Zealot is practically idiot-proof versus the Veteran. And I am an idiot, as demonstrated by my inability to stay alive. So, definitely for me, the Zealot, but I see the Veteran argument. I love that double Uzi ability. It's so not double Uzi ability, but like the Desperado ability that gives you like unlimited ammo with the double Uzis. It's so much fun. Let's see. Nah, Abaddon is Chaos Unk. I don't think Unk... Listen, I'm only 32. Like, even I'm too old to make comments on Gen Z and Gen Alpha slang, but I don't think Unk is a good thing. I do want to show the Tech Marines I've kit bashed. I keep forgetting. You know what? You have to show the Tech Marines you kit bashed, Luna. I got stuck on a ledge. Tech Marines are cool. Tech Marines are rather like important to a chapter. Excuse me. Chapter or a warband, and I really do think that like they're underrated in terms of like models. I think they're great. So you should post pictures, and especially kit bashes in general. I love kit bashing. Kit bashing is one of my favorite things to do in this hobby because you can create a model that no one else has, whereas you just go out and buy something in a box. Everyone can build the same Space Marine. It lets you put a little bit of you into the model outside of just picking the color that it is. In a Warhammer game, I gave one of my Hawk Lords the name Agrax the Merciless after he killed a Tyranid boss, and once I'm finished, I'll send it to the Discord. Yes, you should. That's awesome. Like, I love the storytelling that models, like, can provide. One of my favorite things to do, like, what I'm working with JD on is we're working on a narrative, like, crusade / ongoing campaign for Age of Sigmar, which I know is not necessarily everybody's cup of tea. It's not even my favorite fantasy setting for Warhammer, but what I love about it is like every faction that's involved has to be a homebrew faction, and whatever happens in game as far as like battles and characters and great feats that are done are gonna like change the lore of the homebrew, so it becomes like canon in a sense, and like so you can develop these stories with every model that you get. Get the fuck back. Leave me alone. There we go. Which I think is awesome. I think we should all have those kind of stories. We've been working on a mechanic for the rules where if a model goes down, you have to roll whether or not they are like injured, they're just incapacitated, or dead. And certain factions would be immune to that, obviously, because you've got like Stormcast Eternals are immortal; they can't really die in the traditional sense. So you know, like that would be kind of like a damn it! I can't wait to set up that hotkey. That would be kind of like a really cool like way to go about it, I think, where you can come up with these epic characters for all these different factions and whatnot, I think would be great. Because that's one of my favorite parts about this hobby is the stories that your army tells and like your own personal lore. And the way that Games Workshop set it up is that technically, whatever you create homebrew-wise, as long as it doesn't outright violate the universe, it could be canon. And I think that's awesome. Ow, Inky, that is... Ow! That's my shin. Thank you. Fuck you. I can't move.
Look at me! I'm blushing!
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
The only answer to this profane life.
I forget I have that stim, and I need to remember that.
Unacceptable beginning. Proceed.
Fuck. There it goes. Oh well, I tried. I'm so far away from the rest of my team, I shouldn't have done that. Let's see. I wish GW would lean more into homebrew. I think they are. I think they've realized that they need to. I think the fiasco with the Steel Legion, the Armageddon Steel Legion, they tried pushing people towards homebrew with like putting up the videos of like people like, here's how to paint Kriegs is Armageddon Steel Legion, and you know, for the last few years they've really kind of pushed people more and more towards if there's not a model, there's no force in the setting. And I think they underestimated how many people love the Armageddon Steel Legion.
Mic off. Mic on.
So much so that they're now turning around and they're adding more rules for like narrative stuff in the next edition. So I think they will be going back to homebrew. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get to that point. I don't know why I'm still clicking. Mother flipper. Oh well. Let's see. You have Daughters of Cain. Okay. AOS gets people confused. It's the new world after the end of Total War timeline. It has some characters that come up as epic heroes. Yeah, AOS really pissed me off because what got me into Warhammer originally, what got me drew me to this hobby was Warhammer Fantasy. I really loved Warhammer Fantasy even before I had a big boy job where I could afford to buy Warhammer Fantasy. They killed it off. So I really loved it. And AOS just had left a bad taste in my mouth, and a lot of other people felt the same way. And then the fact that they insist on keeping it like in congruence with the timeline of the old world with AOS by having it be like continuing the story moving forward, it just it does confuse people, especially new people who have like no frame of reference. Since they announced the old world, the game, I kind of have relaxed on it a little bit. I hope the potential leaks about the last world and the death of AOS are not true, because I don't see how that benefits GW other than like they realize how many people love Warhammer Fantasy and they're just going to change AOS to fit Warhammer Fantasy. I hope they don't do that, but I don't know. The more I've looked into it, the more I'm conflicted. I don't know if they will or not, but we'll see. But AOS is good. I didn't give it a fair shake because of what they did to Fantasy, and now I've kind of softened on it. I see the appeal. To the point where I'm going to be getting a Cities of Sigmar army. I started Carriage and Overlords. I will finish my Carriages, but I'm gonna pivot to Cities of Sigmar as my main. Jesus Christ. There we go. Let's see. This game makes you aggressive, man. Well, it's nothing but violence across the board, and it's a lot of fun, I have to admit. But it does make me a little bit. Using bad words, being disrespectful to the War Master. Oh, fuck you. Wild stuff. That's funny. Not to hipster, but I remember the OG. Oh no, I'm dying. I can't read. There we go. I remember the OG release, the nightmare modes, friendly fire was on, made flamers pointless. Yeah, I played the OG release. And then it went down to maintenance mode, basically, because they were so disappointed with the lack of content within the game, the lack of like game support that came in from Vermintide, and just was an incomplete product. I felt, but I still like it. I think Darktide provides the most unique look into the world of Warhammer 40k that you don't see a lot in other games, right? Space Marine, you're living the power fantasy of a Space Marine. The scale's all thrown off, and I'm done. What I love about this game is that you kind of see what the world's like for the average person for the most part. Now, I say average. I am cleaving through, like, hordes of enemies that are supposedly trained guardsmen, and here I am, just a gangster from the Undercity, you know, being able to keep up with practically Kazarkin levels of death, but it's still a lot of fun. I love doing that. I can't wait for the Armageddon box, so Kit Bash possibilities are near endless. I can't too. I think it'd be great. I'd love to be able to Kit Bash an entire force of Space Marines that are firstborn, because I'm going to be that guy. You know, tip my neckbeard crusted fedora here, but Primaris are not as cool as the firstborn IMO. I have a lot of opinions. What? Are we still waiting to get that last sample that I died at? Really? I just realized. I'm just sitting here killing things and killing things and talking.
Lonesome.
That one's open. Ooh. And I died. Haha. Let's see. I love how it went from all the men from Dark Elves went into cities and all the women took DOK. Well, now the Dark Elves for Cities of Sigmar are heavily diminished. I have a theory we're going to be getting Dark Elves soon. We're going to be getting the Umbredeath, the Shadow Elves, very, very soon. Biggest downgrade, in my opinion, by the way, is Malekith in AOS being called Malarion. Malekith was a way cooler name, and you went with a name that sounds like fantasy disease you get from mosquitoes. Think smart zombies, not necessarily smart. That's fair. Lord Nerd, when I told my dad about Warhammer, he thought Henry Cavill had created it. That is hilarious, and you will never correct him otherwise. Henry Cavill made Warhammer. Primaris Marines just seem redundant. Oh, be happy since I can prove it. Well, you should prove it, be happy. Primaris Marines, okay, so... Sorry, I'm going to keep ESPing you, but I will stop soon. Primaris Marines, not only were they redundant, right? So, like, they've actually retconned a lot of the lore with the Primaris Marines. Now the Primaris Marines are basically just an upgrade that you get to Firstborn Marines, right? You're made into a Primaris Space Marine rather than you have to be converted, which is highly dangerous for a normal Space Marine to do. But what Primaris were originally, they were like super soldiers, right? They were faster, faster, stronger, better reaction speeds. They were taller, more dangerous than a standard Firstborn Marine. So they were to a normal Space Marine what a normal Space Marine is to the average person, which is not the way it should be, in my opinion. Then on top of that, right, one of the main things, and I've talked about it, and it's actually going to be referenced in my upcoming video, is what got me into the hobby originally was the Space Wolves. And I chose the Space Wolves because they couldn't have successor chapters, right? Their gene seed was too unstable for anyone not born of Fenrisian stock, the people from the planet Fenris, which isn't technically true because they had the bulk of Fenrir, which came from Earth, but it doesn't matter. But they couldn't have successor chapters. It failed every time, right? It failed so spectacularly that the Imperium said, "We're not going to do this anymore. You are exempt from the Codex Astartes. You don't have to have only 1,000 Battle Brothers because you can't make any successor chapters. So we need you to be as close to full strength as possible." And so they got exemptions, and I loved that. But the problem was the Space Wolves also had a problem with their gene seed called the Curse of the Wolfen. And this is basically where they become werewolves. Because it's so unstable, they have to contend with the wolf within, and yada yada blah blah blah. Primaris comes out, they no longer have to deal with this problem. They are completely immune to it. If you're a Blood Angels fan, Primaris Marines, guess what? They're immune to the Black Rage and the Red Thirst. They don't have to do anything about it. They're perfectly immune. They don't have to deal with it anymore. It's game over. And that was when they first came out. They have since like slowly retconned them. Like, oh, well, actually, they're not like immune. They're just highly resistant. Yada yada. So now you have now like they're basically the same. Like they don't reference the immunity. They don't reference the high resistance anymore. Normal Blood Angels that are Primaris have issues with the Black Rage and the Red Thirst. They just kind of got away from that whole thing, which is good in my opinion. They should never have gone away from it to begin with. And that's why I hated the Primaris Marines, because they fundamentally changed my favorite chapter. Very autistic rant, I know, but that's why I didn't like the Primaris Marines. That's why I like the Firstborn, and I swear to God, did it just crash again? Is Fat Shark having a problem? I feel like Fat Shark's having a problem, because...
Mic off. Mic on.
Okay, well, I guess I'll fix that in a second. Lord Nerd, thank you so much, brother man, for stopping by. You head on out. Have a good day. If you're already gone, I'm so sorry I didn't get to see that message, but it was good having you here while you were there. But then all the large units must not have been restocked in months, and they're getting more single drops for squad and then 4-man team games, but no Daughters of Cain army. I bet the army gets refreshed soon. You're probably not wrong. I think that'd be really cool. I'd love to see that. Space Wolves are super silly to me. You know what, Solus, you're not wrong for thinking that, because they are, as they're represented in the most recent lore, they are kind of silly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna fix this issue. I don't know what's going on with Darktide today, so 1 second, everybody. Or not, because it's crashed so hard I can't do anything. Wow, that was getting really fucking annoying. Okay. Yeah, alright. I don't know what's going on here. What is happening? What is happening? Fucking stream. I hate this so much. Abrupt technical difficulty screen. You're not wrong. OBS is not happy, and neither is YouTube, apparently. Darktide is crashing my PC hardcore, too. I don't want to have to do a reset, but I might have no choice. Okay. Well, that is what it is. Thank you. This is a great fucking live stream, by the way. That's embarrassing. Alright, let's see if we can get this to actually work this time. What do you say? Gonna need to make an abrupt technical difficulty screen, Stolas. You're not wrong. This is ridiculous, man. This is absolutely ridiculous. Jesus, man. That's so stupid. Gonna need to make an abrupt... Oh, there we go. So we got that figured out, finally. Jesus. Hopefully it's not going to crash this time. We'll see. But at least I have a hotkey that lets me mute my microphone, which is awesome.
It is the 41st millennium.
Yeah, sure. Be happy. We can join me if you want.
For 10,000 years, The Imperium has dominated the galaxy.
I ain't gonna say no to nobody joining if they want to.
There is only war.
There is only war. Alright, Kitten is finally safe and secure. She's done trying to murder me. That's nice. Thank you. Did it keep my level up? We're gonna have to find that out. I'm very curious if I actually got to keep any of my stuff. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if it did or not. This is... Let's find out. Oh, it's so nice to have a hotkey bound to OBS. Oh, I don't know why I can't think of stuff like that. You'd think that growing up with technology and my dad working practically in IT and teaching me how to use a computer from when I was a very young boy, that I would have this unlocked, but I do not. Okay, let's see here. What did I unlock penance-wise? Okay. Well, that worked. Oh, how do I... Alright, be happy. What, This is my player code. If you want to shoot me an invite, shoot me a friend request, I will, leave it on screen for a little bit. And then, once we get at it, I will get you on in here. Oh, you sent it. Nice. Practically in IT. Dude, he is in IT. Listen, mother. I was not trying to say too much information about my dad and his work. Thank you very much. Also, I'm just dumb. And try not to cough my brains out constantly. San Francisco. Okay. Let's see how. Okay. Let's see how. Sorry, everybody. I am just answering a text message here. A little later than I should. You know, actually, give me a second here, everybody. I will be right back. This is actually an important conversation I have to have real quick. Just got to get a quick update real fast. Okay, sorry about that. Landlord was texting me and I needed to respond to them real fast. So, my sincerest apologies. Alrighty. Sorry, let's see if I can finally get this last mission, and I think this is the last one I need to play in order to get my Hive Scum up to level 30, which I'm very excited to do so. Get him up to 30, and then I've got to work on my other characters, because I've got my Arbites up to 30, my Ganger up to 30, my Veteran, I think, is 14, my Psyker, I think, is 18, my Veteran, I think, or my Zealot, I think, is like 7, and then I haven't even touched the Ogryn. I've made the Ogryn. I have not touched the Ogryn. Alrighty. So, sorry, we were updating paperwork for the puppy, so the landlord needed to get some information from me, and I wanted to make sure I had everything there. Alrighty.
This one's an infiltration mission.
Stolas, if you're still there, I wanted to ask you, if you had to pick between Slaanesh or Tzeentch, who would you go for? I know you're a Khorne guy, and I know Nurgle's like a backup for you, but if you had to pick between Slaanesh and Tzeentch, why is it, and why did you pick Tzeentch and not Slaanesh? Because I don't know, I'm going to be honest with you, Slaanesh scares me more than Tzeentch does, and they both terrify me to my absolute core, but like, at least with Tzeentch, you know, I know what I'm getting, which is an unknowable autistic god who wants to put eyeballs all over my body because he has a thing for the ocular nerve, I guess. And he's going to lie to me no matter what I do, right? Slaanesh, I don't know if you're going to turn me into an Ottoman or make me eat so much food that I explode. Don't know which of the two I'd rather do, but I lean heavily towards each.
It's time to start some music!
Oh?
The garrison have their mission.
I think I lost Banshee. Oh, well. That is not nice.
Won't last against a real assault. We need to change things up. You can splice into the auto-scheduler from the nearby marketplace. Expect resistance.
Long load. Yeah, okay, that explains a lot then.
If it's down, don't hesitate!
The vent tunnel will take you to the marketplace. You just need to find them.
I think I've outpaced the mutant there. I guess that would be an interesting conversation. Like, if you had to serve your least favorite Chaos God, what would be the way that you could justify that?
Ugly little carcass!
There we go. That is a lot of Poxwalkers. Oh my gosh. Ooh, Jesus. I hear a theme spawn. Jeez. That's a lot of my... I'm out of ammo. And I'm down. Damn it. That was a good run. I'm out of ammo. I have no health. And I'm down. There it goes. GG. You know, I love the enemy variety in this game. I really do. The Ganger is just a character I've never really gotten that good with, unfortunately. I want to get better with him. I wonder how the Darktide characters don't just immediately... I wonder how the Darktide characters don't just immediately from being near a Poxwalker. Like, don't like just immediately get, like, dominated or taken over. It's a good question. Honestly, I wonder how the Darktide characters do anything at all. But they kind of hinted at it a little bit, I think, within the lore, which was the disease that's infesting the city itself is, of course, there it goes, is faith-based. So the more faithful your character is, the less affected you are, that you can actually, like, even push people, like, push the disease away from you, in many aspects of it, which I think is rather interesting. So, like, a disease based around belief and faith and zealotry, or lack thereof. So that could be how, perhaps. At least it makes sense for the zealot. There are some voice lines in here that kind of make you wonder about certain classes or certain personalities of classes, because they seem to be a little bit more skeptical. But I don't know. I don't know. It makes me wonder too. These guys, I think, are practically just essentially gods at this point, because of the amount of violence that you can commit in a single mission. We're fighting Nurgle, I know, but I think Khorne has got to have blessed this warband at least a little bit. I guess it doesn't count if it's maggots and not blood that's being spilled, though. I don't know. Luna, you're the chaos expert because Stolas isn't here talking. You gotta tell me, is that how that works? Is it if you spill maggots and not blood, is Khorne happy or not happy by this? I would know. I'm an Imperium simp myself, so I immediately go back to God Emperor for that, you know. All right, we're gonna try that one more time. Hopefully this time I can actually manage to not just get myself immediately dominated. And I might change. Nope, didn't change in time.
Tertian can't fight
That's
without
fine.
a sustainable water supply. So guess what the heretics have gone after? The heretics have taken control of a storage silo.
You know what's funny? This game, like, reminds me so much of, like, a really cool aspect for, like, good storytelling within the 40K world. And, like, aside from Rogue Trader and aside from Blood for the Emperor, Skulls for the Golden Throne, isn't there, like, an order of Sisters of Battle that, or Adeptus Sororitas, that's their tagline? I think there's something like that. But anyway, there's like outside of like Dark Heresy coming out and Rogue Trader, there's really not like massive narrative-driven 40K games. And I love the scale of conflict that this game is in. That I feel it would be really freaking cool to have like a narratively driven campaign where you are an agent working for an Inquisitor like this. Like this kind of level of conflict. I think that would be so cool. Of course, like the only way I'm gonna get what I'm asking for is if ow! Thank you for attacking me. Kitten. Just attacking my foot. I think would be like to do like a Wrath and Bolter game, like a tabletop RPG set in 40K. God, it's just such a cool, like, rich idea for a story, if you ask me.
No, you I didn't expect this.
Here we are.
Playing with ya!
Oh, you are reprehensible.
Don't stick your thing around this continent.
Oh, that's Beast of Nurgle. One of the, like, okay, if no one has seen the model for the Beast of Nurgle, you should look up the model right now. And then look at this thing and tell me that they did a bang-up job in this game making it look like something that is intimidating and terrifying and just gross all around. And then you look at the model and, like, that is the goofiest, stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen the Sloppity Bile Piper, which is my favorite model to just say out loud. There we go. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Hey, let go of my friend. That's not nice. Thank you. Yep, I should have backed up. No one said I was competent at this game. I just have fun.
I'm surprised you can hear that
well.
over the scream.
What can I say? I'm a connoisseur.
Ooh. Demon host. Okay, we're gonna avoid the demon host. If I was my zealot, I probably wouldn't. But I don't have the ability to pacify them yet.
On we go. No coming back.
Really? It would be nice if I could, you know, not just get myself killed. And I went down. Hooray! You need to stop playing so aggressively. What I'd like to do is stop playing on this character. I enjoy the Ganger, not my favorite playstyle. Oh, wow. I saw that happen. I saw that happen in real time. Well, GG. God bless America. All right, I'm going to take a break from this character. I'm going to swap to another character. I need a palate cleanser. God, you did get thrown very far. That was impressive. I watched that happen in real time. All right, I need a palate cleanser, so I'm going to play a different class just to get a reset here. Oh, well, actually, I can stop. I'm now level 30. Haha! Hooray. So I can actually focus on leveling up another class entirely. That is awesome. What class to play? I was gonna play my RBDs just to take a break and go back. You go 23 veteran. Okay, if you're gonna go pretty high level veteran, I think I'm gonna focus on leveling my veteran as well. So let me change operatives here. If I had to choose a Chaos Army, which one would you go with? Well, that depends. Are we talking... You know what? I'm gonna level up my veteran, my zealot. It depends. Are we talking demons? Are demons on the table? Or does it have to be Chaos Space Marines? Are Trader Guard on the table? When you say Chaos Army, what are we talking here? Because if we're talking the whole gamut, everything that's on the table, okay, if we're talking everything on the table, right? We're not just talking, if we're not just talking Space Marines, necessarily, I would probably make a Trader Guard. If you're telling me I have to pick Chaos Space Marines, I would probably go with the Sons of Malice. I enjoy the Sons of Malice, personally. Nice. We're rocking the helmet of the Armageddon Steel Legion. That's awesome. Yeah, I'd probably go with the Sons of Malice. If you're telling me I have to pick one of the 4 Chaos Space Marines, like the Aligned Space Marines or an existing mini war boss, so I have to pick one that's aligned to a god, I would say, I don't know. Death Guard are pretty close for me. I want to like Tzeentch so bad because, you know, autism. I can't stand Tzeentch's model range in anything I've seen. I don't like the AOS model range. I don't like the Thousand Suns. I don't know how reliant they are upon Zangors and demons. So I'd probably say Death Guard or World Eaters. If you're allowing me to pick any of the legions, but not just Chaos, like specifically God aligned, I'd say Alpha Legion. I like Alpha Legion. Alpha Legion or Word Bearers, one of the two. Those are in my opinion like my favorites of the legions. But if I have to narrow it down further to one of the Aligned, I'm probably gonna go with either Death Guard or World Eaters.
Your Emperor does not love you. Not as the grandfather loves you. But my pay grade, that one.
I learned about the Sons of Malice because I painted a Dark Apostle with a chess-inspired theme, which ended up looking similar to them. So what's funny is okay, this is actually I think a rather good conversation to have talking about 40K in general. 40K is a rather interesting world when it comes to what is and is not considered canon, because they don't ever come out right and say like, oh, we're getting rid of this, right? They just kind of like sweep something under the rug and change something. By the way, I'm really liking the full Steel Legion drip, by the way. Well played. Well played. But what Malice used to be the 5th Chaos God, and like I was, until they said Vashtor is trying to become the 5th Chaos God, I was still kind of the opinion, like, Malice was probably still around. Just a minor aspect of the lore, you know, like a very weak individual. Though he doesn't have a very major presence within the lore, but he's still the 5th Chaos God. And then when Vashtor came out and said that he was trying to ascend to the 5th Chaos God, it was rather interesting that, like, they never directly... Alright, can we hit the button now? There we go. Like, I didn't know that Malice was no longer really considered a part of the lore. And so, like, a lot of people were like, okay, maybe he's no longer canon, he no longer exists. And then they came out with a short story not that long ago where the Sons of Malice are still around, and Malice did, like, I forget what it was, like an entire planet had basically been lost because of Malice. And, like, they were enacting some dark ritual to, I guess, summon an aspect of Malice. So now, but he's still around and still a powerful Chaos player. He's just not a Chaos God anymore. So he's just a very powerful greater demon, essentially, which, I don't know, it could be interesting. Ow. So, yeah, I would say probably, if I had to pick any, if I had to be Space Marines, I would pick Sons of Malice. If you want me to pick from the original Legions, Alpha Legion, and if I have to pick from a specific Chaos God, it's a tie between Death Guard or World Eaters. I probably lean more World Eaters, maybe? But only because I like melee armies. Like the two like loyalists I chose from to get into the lore with was Space Wolves or Black Templars, and I really liked both of them, but I loved both of them because they were like very melee centric. Knights and Vikings, who doesn't like those? You know, to a 14-year-old boy's mind, is there anything cooler than Space Werewolf Vikings or Space Crusading Knights? So Malice got demoted from Chaos God to Warp Entity. Well, that's the thing. They've never come right out and said, right? He's still around. He's still in the lore, apparently, because this was post Arcs of Omen that Malice was involved in a story. Like, the Sons of Malice were involved. It was still a big deal. They were doing something to summon a demon of Malice. But then they turned around and said Vashtor was trying to become the 5th Chaos God. So they never came right out and said, thank you, Sup. Appreciate that. Or, thank you, Banshee. I appreciate that. But yeah, they never actually came out and said whether or not he could still be a Chaos God. Maybe he shows up and punches Vashtor in the face and says, no, I am the 5th Chaos God. Who knows? So who knows? I don't know. Bolt pistols are so much fun. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like, they never ever come right out and like decanonize the past. That's the one thing about GW, and they lean into that to kind of like obscure their lore and leave it deliberately vague in many aspects on purpose. For example, you know, they never did decanonize the fact that Imperial Knights were an order created by the Eldar, and that the Imperium's version of Imperial Knights were actually created to herd dinosaurs that they called Megasaurs. Like, that's never been something they decanonized, which I find utterly fascinating. So, like, there's probably still a Knight House out there that's their job. They, like, herd gigantic dinosaurs called Megasaurs. Alright, come on now. Got the Ogre.
Glory be and praise the God Emperor!
A righteous kill!
Hell yeah. So yeah, there's probably still a night house out there that herds dinosaurs called Megasaurs for food. You know, I guarantee you there's like a very minor house that's as a nod to the old lore, so they never fully get rid of it. It's just the lore has been expanded now, which is again it's frustrating and fascinating at the same time.
They just did.
What the awkward hat then?
Kill that gunner.
Oh,
Gunners all! Reverse, ye blackguards! I'm reloading.
can't get over this. There we go. I love this combat knife. When you spec it out for a blood build, it's actually a lot of fun. Oh, no. There we go. I don't know. What about you, Luna? If you had to pick any Chaos army that wasn't Space Marines, what would you? Not Knights. What would you pick? Ah, ammo crate. Thank you. That's another one right behind it.
That chick beast, I confess, I find her unsettling. If she does turn out,
I want to know how I shoot this and not break my wrist.
I see you're at flow control. Allow me to arrange a proper greeting. Right, you know how this goes. Give the demon a good kicking so you can move on.
Oh, I got a headshot, but I did not kill her. Just got shot? Okay.
that beast is dead.
One last target. Get it done.
Let's get over here. Just don't hit me, please.
Shotgunner, unleashing flame.
Oh, come on. Let's get the sprinting going, please. Thank you. There we go.
Hear his roar. Praise his name. Demolition grenade. We got a radar.
Okay. Now I'm done looking like an idiot.
The elevator's waiting. The elevator's gonna take time to get here. Get ready for a fight.
So sorry, I already read that one. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to know where they're going to go with Vastor moving forward. I'm very intrigued to see where they do with Vastor moving forward. I also don't know when we're going to get that meeting between Gilliman and the Lion. I wonder if they're going to save that for a big narrative book. I've also seen a lot of reports recently of, I guess, thanks to Valrak, about Armageddon possibly falling to the Orcs. which could be interesting. I'd like to see what they do with that. I mean, the orcs have never had a proper home in the galaxy, and that's why they're drawn back to Armageddon. It's their former homeworld of Olenor. I'd like to see what they do with that. If it falls, what does that mean for the Imperium? Is Yarick getting brought back to life just to turn around and die again, which would not be the first time they've done something like that. But I'd be very interested to see what they do with that moving forward. Because I'm conflicted. I'm a huge Imperium guy. I'd like to see the orcs get like a massive change to their lore. Please don't kill me. There we are. So yeah, seeing what they do with that would be fascinating. I want to. Hopefully, Yarick stays alive. It wouldn't be surprising me to see them bring him back in the lore, only to have him turn around and die in a very important fight. I still think it's dumb the way they handled his death originally by just having it in a blog post. I still am a little pissed about what they did to Chiron from Space Marine 2. I think he deserved better. He was a really cool character. The most interesting of the generic gray shields that have been in the lore, that he was there on, I want to say Monarchia. That's not right. Oh no, Final's gonna hate me for this. What was the world where the world he just showed up and burned it?
Mic off. Mic on.
I used the wrong button. I'm sorry. I had a cough. What was the world? Oh my god. I can't think of it. The Ultramarine world that the word bearers showed up and burned down. Calth. They were on Calth. I'd love to see. Like he was on Calth from 10,000 years ago. He remembers chaos. He thank you, Luna. He remembers the Taste of Chaos. He's the one that knew that the Astropath was corrupted and not Titus. Gadriel's a really cool character too, but like Chiron was the most interesting. I won't say he was the best character or the most well-written character, but he had the most possible interesting tidbits to his lore. And to have him and Captain Akaran die in a blog post was really just disheartening for me, because I really liked them as characters. Although Mr. Scottish Cyclops only giving me, 2 men to spare was always never not going to be funny to me. But I'm not opposed to them dying, by the way. I'm not opposed to the death or ending of characters. That's not where I'm getting at. My issue really just stems from I don't like the way they've gone about doing it. Like, if it was a story, if it was a book, if it was the next game, and they die for like Space Marine 3, like I would have been all about it. And I got jumped, motherfucker. I thought I dodged it. It is BS that they off-screened them. I agree. Like Chiron deserved better as a character. I can't dodge. There we go. Like, give them the proper send-off that they deserve as characters. Like, I was disappointed because Acheron has a character, like a model that you can purchase. He's with the Space Marine Captain in Phobos armor. That's his model, and I think he's a cool character. Again, probably not the... Really? Okay. You just took more than one. Good to know. That's one really resilient totem, if that's the case. But yeah, they think they deserve better. As characters overall, I think they deserve better. Gadriel becoming the Ancient, though, makes perfect sense to me. It would have been really cool if... Like, I would like to have seen Chiron become a Blade Guard vet as well. But they have... What's the new character name? Notarius, the one from the secret level episode. He's a cool guy. I like him. He is really cool. From what I've seen, like the little bit of story in the secret level episode is really, really good. I want to see more. I want to see an update on the Henry Cavill situation. What's going on with the Amazon show? Because if he's got to be a character in that. Speaking of the Amazon show, Sniper, not best idea. Yeah. Listen, I'm also not a very smart cookie, so. But I've heard reports. Was it Den of Nerds made a post? Apparently, there was talks of Henry Cavill had approached Brad Pitt to play a character. And I guess the rumor that's been going around is that he approached Brad Pitt to play Lehman Russ. Not my first pick for Lehman Russ, personally, but I'm not opposed. I think he's a good actor. Brad Pitt has got more acting range than someone like George Clooney, but he does kind of play the same character as of late. So I don't know if it's bad or not, but I mean, it's still exciting to see that he's talking to, like, using his connection as an action hero or action star to talk to other big A-list celebrities. You know what? I should have saved that ammo for you. Banshee, my apologies.
You didn't have to flinch so when I come near. I'm not gonna harm you.
I can hear an idol over there.
That was in the heat of the moment. It doesn't count.
I'll play you alive, I can say. You said it was very hurtful.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I love the banter. The banter between the characters is really good.
Time to do what you do best. The Grandfather will strike you down for this intrusion.
Medicaid station.
Oh, look, Medicaid.
Glory be, a med station.
You know the drill. Use your data interrogators in place to start building overpressure.
Ow. This is gonna hurt. I've also heard, like, this is more of a fan casting of, like, Jason Momoa playing Jagged Tycoon. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, actually. Although, I don't know who I'd want to play Vulcan.
Data signal's good as strong.
I'm trying to have conversation here, but I'm also trying to keep my eyes peeled for... Oh, I can't hit shit. There we go. Leave me alone. Alright, I'm done trying to shoot. Okay. Oops.
Come to a stop. Starting up again.
Okay, I'll move down here. I can't jump over that. That's a shame.
Cover me, my kindred.
Okay, grab... Oh, damn. There we go. The Christopher Judge. Oh, you know, he did a great job as Teal'c and Kratos. You know what? That's a good point. Christopher Judge could be a good Vulcan. The question is, does he have like the size of Vulcan? Obviously not like actual canon-wise, but could he dwarf the people around him? But I do like him. He's a good. Christopher Judge is a good actor. I've liked him. I loved him in Stargate SG-1. I love Stargate SG-1. I remember coming home from high school and turning on the Sci-Fi Channel to watch Stargate SG-1 when it was still coming out. And I'm still pissed we never got our ending to SG-1. But Christopher Judge would be good. You know what? That's a fair point. Come on. Get off, my friend.
This cannot be permitted. The hand of admonition will sweep you away.
Yeah. He could be good. Jason Momoa playing Jagatai would be interesting. It's not your traditional action character, but the guy, he's been in a lot of things. The most recent thing that I can think of that he's been in was Weapons. He played the school counselor who had the husband who gets possessed and, like, Naruto sprints across the entire town. I knew him from playing Kublai Khan in Marco Polo. He's been in a lot of things. He's kind of like the first guy I'd go to, but he's not your traditional action character, like action actor. So I don't know how well he'd do as Jagatai, but I think he'd be pretty good. Atlantis created Jason Momoa, Minecraft pig recent, but you know, listen, like Stargate Atlantis was my first introduction to Jason Momoa as well. Loved his Ronin in that show.
Real close.
Ow. Okay, at least they've got you over there, because I'm trapped on the other side of fire. Dude was Khal Drogo? Yeah, I know he's Khal Drogo. Listen, Ronan was my first introduction to him as Jason Momoa. I loved Jason Momoa. Khal Drogo's a good character, don't get me wrong. My mind always goes to the guy. Bring Shoddy next time. Is that a reminder to you or me? Because I could do so, I think. I like Khal Drogo is a great character, but my mind always goes back to the guy that played Kublai Khan. Like, I don't know why. I thought he did a great job in that show. Again, you're not like a traditional action kind of actor, but I think he did a great job as him personally. But you know, you're not wrong. He did a great job as Khal Drogo. I also really liked him as in Dune as well. Jason Momoa. I think he did a great job in Dune. And there we go. Okay. Let's see. Get the band? I don't know that I understand exactly what that means. I'm so sorry, Banshee. I don't need to watch the debriefing. Thank you very much. I've played the mission many a time. All right. Who would you pick to play Conrad Kurz? That's what Conrad is a difficult one because you need to put someone who can play psychotic and two separate personalities at the same time. OG sci-fi Dune miniseries was better. New Dune almost a shot-for-shot remake, but with bigger budget and does it worse. You know, That's fair. I think for me, every single like screenshot you can find in Jared Leto. Jared Leto. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I also just don't like Jared Leto, but Jared Leto, I don't hate it. That's not terrible. That's not a terrible cast. I can't say you're wrong. I think Jared Leto could do a pretty good job. He does a pretty good job of playing psychotic when he needs to. I just wish he would stop with his weird ass cult. But yeah, Jared Leto would probably do a pretty good job. You're not wrong. He plays whiny scene kid well, i.e. Lord of War. You know, that's not okay. You know what? I see where you're going with that. I can't say you're wrong. I think you make a good point. You make a good point. All right, I'll bring a combat shotgun. Why not? Jeez, I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't have a better answer. I don't have a better answer than you on that. So I'll have to give you credit where credit is due. Jared Leto might be a better answer than anything I could come up with for sure. Doesn't mean I have to like it, but it does mean I think it is better for sure than anything I've got.
Would you care to undertake a contract?
I'm trying very hard to think of somebody, and I don't know that I've got anybody. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna rush you. If you need to decline, go ahead and decline. I'm not gonna rush you, but I'm gonna go ahead and queue it up. So, no worries. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm really trying hard to think of somebody. I'm gonna have to give you Jared Leto for now. I think there's somebody out there that could be better, but for right now, I have to give it to you on that one. Still the fact Dr. Donna / Nelly from The Office is canon Crayfax. What are you doing, Chewie? What are you doing? Hi, you okay, buddy? You just following the kitten? Oh my god, we're in the middle of combat. You just following the kitten around?
Mechanism is rousing. Soft silence.
Oh, Jesus.
I have ordered an evacuation, but these things take time that we do not have.
Panic is there. Salvation is our gift, gladly given.
I often hear those words. I hope yours have substance.
Oh, that's a Tox Bomber. Oh, God.
I never doubted you, but prove yourself further, you must.
Okay. Got some Ragers there. We got a Tox Bomber behind us somewhere. I need to reload. Holy moly. And I'm down. I was trying so hard to get to you. I was trying so hard. And the worst part is I've got my ability and we're down. That was joining that mid mission, not fun. That was chaos incarnate. No, never mind. We've now got bots.
Today we paid the price for relying on Grendel's rejects.
Damn. That was rough. Okay. Who'd you cast for the 6 Holy Sisters that speak to Big E and Celestine? Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. So what is her name? I can picture her in my head. I mean, obviously the best meme answer for playing Celestine would be Sydney Sweeney. What is her name?
Hurry along now. It is your duty to complete contracts.
Alright, I'm gonna equip a weapon here that I really, really like, even though it may not be the best weapon. God, I can picture her. What? I can see her in my head. I can't think of her. I think she'd play a great Celestine, although she's probably a little darker than Celestine would have been. I can't even think about what she's been in that instantly comes to mind. Damn. I'm gonna give me a second to think on that actually, because the other ones are going to be trickier to think about, but Celestine, she'd have to be somebody that's big and important. Like, she'd have to be somebody that could have, like, a strong presence on screen, right? A good, like, stage presence for a character like Celestine would be paramount of importance. Someone who could, like, do subtlety really, really well with her acting ability. And on that alone, it really narrows down the pool quite a bit. Hey, darker than doesn't matter, just lighter than. That's funny, Ma. A good female actress that just would knock it out of the park. Space Mom's so inappropriate. Okay, I'm gonna queue up again. Don't worry if you're not ready, Banshee. I'm not gonna rush you. You feel free to just shut it down. Never mind. See, okay. She's a younger actress. I remember her in some action movies. I'm trying to think of her name. Come on. It's gonna drive me crazy until I think of it. I'm trying to remember what I've seen her in to help it narrow it down. But I have a chick that can play Celestine. I think she's a little younger, a little more tan, but not like she's a good actress, and I think she could do a really good job. But the other 6, I don't know. I can't think of like 6 very strong actresses that I think would suit a Sister of Battle role. Do you have anybody in mind that you think would be good for the role?
Demolition grenade!
All I can think of for this chick that I can think of is that she reminds me of like a younger Jennifer Lawrence. I can't. It's not helpful, I know, but she does remind me of a younger Jennifer Lawrence.
No mercy! Rejoice! Repent! Here it comes!
Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to continue to think on that. That's a good question. That's a very good question. Jesus. I'm gonna go down. Yep, there it is. Because I picked the wrong weapon. Who would you cast to play the Sigilite? That's a good question. Who would you cast to play the Sigilite?
Good for another bow! I'll repay you tenfold.
How about Gina Carano? She's strong AF. Gina is a very strong woman. I don't know that she'd be a good Celestine, but I do think she could play like several really good characters. Who's the? Oh man, the chick that works for like Angron and I can't remember her name. It's gonna drive me nuts. She'd be great, I think, for that for sure. Marina background? Huh.
Return at once.
I don't hate that actually. Natalie Portman. Okay. You know, weirdly enough, she's not a bad pick for like subtlety acting. I don't know that I see Celestine, but it's not a bad option, weirdly enough. I say weirdly enough. Like it's a good call. It's a good call. That's 3 sisters right there. That's fair. Elizabeth Swan. Okay. Yeah. That's yeah. There's Keira Knightley. Remember, they are older characters. That's fair. Oh, you mean not for Celestine? That's for gotcha.
I see you're envious of what I know.
And I coughed on the microphone. My apologies. Get Jessica Alba or maybe Halle Berry. Let's see, that's not bad actually.
I still find it improbable that an individual like you could uncover the Foundryplex's location.
Ah, but people like talking to me. I must have one of those faces. One you can confide in.
Very convincing, I'm sure.
Let's see, who is that? I'm trying to look it up. I'm literally just having to Google search characters, actresses that look like Jennifer Lawrence, unfortunately, trying to make this work. I'm not being very entertaining when I'm doing that, but I'm literally like Halle Bennett. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think Halle Bennett's the one I'm thinking of. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Then I'd say Carrie Gillan from Doctor Who. Ooh, wild card, but that's not not bad at all. Without using an 8. Well, you don't want to find, like, here's the catch. This is the issue that I have with people who want to cast, like people who cast for characters in the Warhammer show, when, if it comes out, is you don't want actors that are too big. Because I don't think you want actors that are too big for the role. That's my, like, major issue. The girl from the new menu and from Fallout, the chick from Fallout wouldn't be a bad option, actually, for, I think, a Celestine kind of character, actually, at all. I think she'd be pretty good. She's not bad at all, now that I think about it. Like, you just don't want characters that are too big for the role. Like, that's my issue with, like, the potential of Brad Pitt being a character, like, playing a character in it, is Brad Pitt's just too big. Brad Pitt's too big for the character. No one's going to look at that and go, that's, I think the report was Lehman Russ for Brad Pitt, which I'm not even, like, overly a huge fan of. The girl from the menu needs an action role. She did have one. It was in a movie that wasn't very well made at all. It had nothing to do with her, though, because it was her, what is it, was it Miles Teller? It's the Gorge from Apple TV, which was a CGI slop fest, but they were pretty good in it. Oop, just hit an explosive. But in general, what's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah, the Gorge was. Yeah, it was not a good film. Had nothing to do with the actors, though. Here, come here. There you go. Oh, never mind. I used it on me. I'm dumb. But yeah, she could be. Actually, you know what? I could. Is it Anya Taylor-Joy? She wouldn't be a half-bad Celestine, actually. I could see her doing a really good job.
I sense the machine spirit. It is restless. It yearns to awaken.
But that's kind of like half my problem. Is like Jason Momoa's kind of hit that point where he's almost too big of a character, or too big of an actor, that no one really sees the character anymore. They just see him, which is it's a shame because he's a really good actor. But yeah, I think it would be a half bad idea. The guy I'd have play Malkador the Sigilite. The most recent thing I remember seeing him in was actually last night. I saw him in an episode of The Gentleman. He plays the crack dealer that gets shot in the face by the brother Freddy. He did a really good job. She wants to play Elsa in live action Frozen. We'll see if she can pull off Blonde, but Sweeney's good second. That's fair. The problem is, I don't think I could ever say anything about Sydney Sweeney's acting career. I've seen movies with her in it. I was not paying attention to her acting ability. But yeah, who's that guy? He's been in a lot of stuff. He's a pretty prolific character actor. I think he could make a really good Malkador the Sigilite. There you are. Hey, it looks like we're a little low on some ammo.
They are natural adversaries.
The Diagnostic symbol shows an
What's
error
his name?
somewhere above. Investigate.
I'm gonna look it up. Back, you fell beasts! The power of the Emperor compels you. Oh yeah, I'm in fire. That's not my fire. That's regular fire. Elijah Wood as a tech priest is a must. I could see Elijah Wood playing a tech priest. He's big enough now as an actor. He doesn't need to do anything. He's like Daniel Radcliffe. He can just rest on his laurels for the rest of his life. Gotta get Rainn Wilson as a tech. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Your praise is appreciated.
Peter Serafinowicz. Finowitz.
You do the Omnissiah.
That is a name. But he's a comedic actor for the most part. But I think he would do a great job as Malcador the Sigillite. Just age him up, give him some long hair. He's got the deeper voice for it too. But he's a great actor choice for that. After seeing him work in Cooties, I think he needs to work. Him and Elijah / Wilson both. Yeah, you know what? That's not unfair. I have to be honest. Elijah, he's making a career now as a DJ, if I remember correctly. But the man makes so much money from the royalties from Lord of the Rings. I don't think he needs to do anything else. Oh shit.
The God Emperor sends ye aid. Honor
Mama, wait. Come on, there we go. Who would play the big baddie in the Age of Apostasy? Well, I mean, are we talking Doge Van Dyer? You know, I have a hot take. It would take a lot of prosthetics to make work, but you know who would do a really good job of being like a Doge Van Dyer in like a dramatic role? And it's a weird one. It's a wild card. I won't say this is even the most likely. I think this is the least likely. But if I had my dream pick for picking Doge Van Dyer, again, heavy prosthetics. I wanted to give him like a huge hooked nose, a pointy chin, you know, basically make him look like the animated character he played. But that would be Jim Carrey. His Ebenezer Scrooge that he did in the animated Christmas Carol, I think he could do a really good Doge Van Dyer. But probably not going to happen. Well, actually, I need to heal up a lot more than that. The guy that does Sheev would be funny. You know what? You're not wrong. Weirdly enough, you know another actor who would be a really good Doge Van Dyer because he could play like the sinister character really, really well. Again, you'd have to age him up a little bit. Sam Witwer. Sam Witwer would do a fantastic Doge Van Dyer. Because just the way he does the voices for for Maul especially, I think he does a great job. He would be a great Doge Van Dyer.
Excellent.
Weirdly enough, you know, well, I just now I'm thinking about it, you know, I think Sam Witwer would do a fantastic Conrad Kurz as well. He could play that like insanity angle really, really well. I could see him, yeah, give him really long disheveled hair. I think he would do fantastic. Yep, that's my call. Sam Witwer as Conrad Kurz or Doge Van Dyer would be fantastic. But yes, the guy that played Palpatine would do a fantastic job as Doge, being like the old man Doge. And yes, I know it's Doge Van Dyer, but I've watched too much Adric that at this point Doge Van Dyer is the legitimate name for this character. Get back. I have a flamethrower and I know how to use it somewhat. So... Excuse me. Oh. Oh, shit. Thank you, Brana. Oh, shit.
I see you down, veteran.
Okay, go all the way around. Okay, gotta get this ice here. Hopefully we can get this quickly. I need to level this guy up so bad.
Always rely on an old soldier, yeah?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, gotta get up there. Okay, okay. Stay on target. There we are. Got you back up. I just gotta handle the cogitator real quick. Okay. Get that handled. Ooh. Oh, I did it too early. Alright, and now for plus division. Ah, come on. Okay, double there. V, triangle, crossed out T. Come on. Okay, 1, 2, gay 4, and key. There we go. Ragers are the bane of my existence, but at least drag ragers aren't that bad. Okay, sprint up here. Oh, good, you're still on. I am final. I'm so close. So close. There we go. Gotta get this finished. Thank God I have bleed damage. Whew. The only reason I love this weapon so much is I do 3 stacks of bleed damage on non-weak spot hits and 7 stacks on critical hits. Hey, leave my friend alone. There we go. By the way, final, you son of a bitch. I know you reverse psychologied me and you tricked me into it, you son of a bitch, but you actually got me to talk about Tau for like 15 minutes. How could you? Our meeting turned into an impromptu Gloomhaven. That's funny. Ooh, and I got mutant. I was right there. Oh, man. Yeah, so I kind of went on a small tirade about the awful and hurtful accusations of being a Chaos supporter and a Xeno supporter. And then I went on a small rant about how I definitely am not making a video coming up about Tau. Because I owe somebody, like, a video about Tau battle suits versus Imperial Knights. And how I was looking into the stats on tabletop, and like the Taunar kind of beats the Knights, and it pisses me off that it's that powerful. I'm getting out of here. I am 1 hit, and I don't feel like staying around for any longer than I have to. Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, I got downed. Oh, well. In 1 hit, no less. Also, we were discussing casting. Let me ask you this. Because Banshee and Be Happy actually asked a really good question. And the question was, who would you cast to play the 6 Sisters of Battle and Saint Celestine? The 6 Sisters of Battle who talked with the Emperor and Saint Celestine. And they threw out some really good answers, but I'm very curious, at the very least for you, sir, who do you think would be a really good Celestine? Do you have any opinions on the matter? I thought I had some Tau locked up somewhere and send you, but I guess we'll have to wait for Christmas. Well, at some point, I have to get you your cog fort, sir. So, the more you send me, the more I'm going to have to send you in return. So don't do it. Also, if it's Tau, it's just going to end up in my fireplace, which I don't have. I think Apostasy would be a better show /movie/anime than Horus Heresy or 40K for newer fans, Game of Thrones in space. See, I don't disagree with you. I think the Age of Apostasy would be fantastic. But if I had to guess, I think we're going to go one of two directions, okay? We're either going to go in the Dark Imperium slash... like, Dark Imperium slash Plague War era, or... does that mean if I said enough things I get a prize? Listen, I already have a plan for you, alright? So, maybe... okay, but I don't want to, like, I already feel so, like, guilty's not the word. I feel so thankful for the stuff that you've sent me. I want to do something anyway. But do not use this as an opportunity to just start randomly sending me stuff, please. I beg of you. I think, so we're either going to get Dark Imperium slash Plague War, or we're going to get, the Age of Scouring, I think, is the two areas that we're gonna go. Because I think just post Horus Heresy does leave enough interesting things that they could really play on if they wanted to, or they could turn around and they could use her said random stuff. No. Jesus, where was I? We get just enough like callbacks to the Horus Heresy that it would be, I think it would be interesting, or we get, you know, like there's some conflict in the Age of Scouring that occurs, you know, the battle for the Iron Cage, the war on Pluto, you know, a lot of really cool stuff. That's what I heard. I'll pack you up. Shut up, Final. I don't even know who's who for actors slash actresses. I'm so far behind. Well, I mean, like you don't know like modern actors and actresses, or you don't know who we've discussed, because I don't think it matters who we discussed. But if you don't know any modern actors or actresses, I can't say it. So you're in the wrong on that one. There's not a lot about actors or actresses that I'm like, ah, yes, this is. I'm so out of the loop on what is and isn't cool when it comes to actors and actresses that for me, I'm kind of like lost. Luna, no, it's not what I said. Stop it. I don't send me random shit. And if you're gonna send me random shit, definitely don't send me Tau. Or if I'm gonna use reverse psychology, definitely don't send me Tempestus Scions / Cities of Sigmar / Dwarves from Warhammer: The Old World.
Down into HL 7004, known as the Carnage.
Any modern, yeah. I mean, I can say like what they were in. Like that's typically what I do. You know, Sam Witwer, who sent Tau. Please don't send me Tau. I beg of you. I have a reputation to uphold as an Imperium simp, after all. But you know. Sam Witwer, I was saying, would be a really good Conrad Kurz. He's the guy that did the voice acting for Darth Maul in the animated series, but he's been in a lot of stuff. You played a lot of Star Wars video games back in the day. He played the Apprentice in The Force Unleashed. He played Starkiller. I think he'd make a great Conrad Kurz. Whoop. Oh yeah. I think he'd make a great Conrad, because he does madness really well in Darth Maul, and I think he would be fantastic for Conrad Kurz if you give him the long hair, age him up just a little bit. There we go. Let's go ahead and get our toughness back up real quick. Yeah, character names help. Yeah, that's how I am. I don't know everybody's names like off rip. But I think he'd make a great one. They were talking about, there's rumors, I don't know if you've been caught up on this at all, there's rumors of like Cavill's been talking with like famous actors like Brad Pitt apparently, and people are saying that he's in the running for, like, the rumors are that he's in the running for Lehman Russ, which is for me, I'm like, please, dear God, no. No, I'm coming. I'm coming. Fight. Come on, there we go. Holy crap, that's a lot of fire. Hey guys, I'm back. What did I miss? Oh, only massive technical difficulties. I now have a hotkeyed mute button, so when I cough, I'm not DSPing anybody. We were talking about castings for who we'd like to see as characters within Amazon's 40K series. The accusations that I am a Tau fan, and everyone's saying they're going to send me random stuff, so I buy them Warhammer models in exchange. Which is not something I actually actively said, but rumors are nasty rumors, after all. Also, that I've never seen Sydney Sweeney's acting, because when she's on screen, I'm not paying attention to her acting abilities. I think that pretty much covers everything. Well, that was fun. There you go. Jesus. We still got 2 uses over here on this Medicaid. Alright, well, I'm going to take it. Haha. Yeah. You're damn right no one's living long enough to get a fix. Except for that one guy I sprinted past and let him live.
The God Emperor guides me! Engagement protocol! Captain! I heard something!
So, he heard something. No. So, yeah, I don't... So we got Sam Whitworth. Sam Whitworth's going to be playing Conrad Curtis. Alright, let me ask this. Let me ask the chat here. Who should be the one to play Sanguinius? Did you ever figure out what was causing Rogue Trader to blow up your PC? No, and I think it was maybe an issue of a driver, because I haven't had many issues since I had to reinstall another update for NVIDIA. But I never did figure out exactly what was causing the problem. But Darktide was also locking up and freezing, and I didn't have to hard reset the PC, thank God. But it It was weird. I've never had issues like this, so I don't know what's going on.
You want to get killed?
There we go. Gotcha, buddy. Gotcha.
Have you forgotten me? I see you down, veteran.
Oh, Jesus. Actually, Nurgle. That would be what's causing the problem here. Fabio, yeah, I've installed another update, and my drivers are back up to date. I don't know if there was an issue with installation, but it happened right after I just shut that door in my face. I'm sad now. It happened right after I installed an update for NVIDIA, so I don't know if it was a graphical driver update issue that was causing the problem, or if it was just a rogue trader in update that didn't quite sit right or anything. I have booted it up since, and I have not had the issue, so the Adventures of Space Pope will be returning at some point. I can't say when, but because I don't know when I'll have the time. Because after I'm done here streaming, I'm going to finish my script for the video and hopefully do a little bit of audio recording, which will be nice. So, am I going... Hold on. So we're trying to... Okay, so we're going over here? I always get lost in this stupid mission. Would Anthony Starr as Sanguinius? I butchered that spelling. What has he been in? Why does that name sound familiar? You know what? Let's see here. Is he the one that... I think I know who he is. Yeah, okay, that's exactly who I thought it was. You know, I don't think he'd make a terrible Sanguinius, if I'm being honest with you. You know what, though? I think if you gave him a proper beard, you know who I think he'd make a much better casting for, personally? Would be the Lion. I think he'd make a great Lion, but it's not a bad idea for Sanguinius. See, the problem with Sanguinius is I'm sorry, I'm half yelling, my apologies, but what I always think about when I think of Sanguinius is the same thing I think about when I think of Fulgrim. You need somebody who's a really good androgynous pretty boy to play those characters. And Anthony Starr is, I think, more traditionally masculine in terms of his appearance than most, but he would not be a bad Sanguinius. I think he could do a really good job. Give him a long, blonde-haired wig. Give him, like, pale his skin up a little bit with some makeup. He would probably make a pretty damn good He'd make a great warrior Sanguinius, for sure. So, you know what? Good on you. That's a very solid pick, I think. Okay, throw some... Hi, Trip. Hello, you're very... Yes, I love you too, Cat. Let's get on here. Jude Law, pretty boy. I don't know that I'd consider him like an androgynous pretty boy. He's a good actor. Very good actor.
Join up with one another. Form a group.
Very, very good actor.
Something to narrow the search.
It's still inconclusive. I think some
Okay.
research teams
All right.
started fighting
For those in the know, who do you think would make the best Magnus? Morgan Freeman as Vulcan leader's voice, but use Samoa Joe as the body. Well, if that's on the table where we're just mixing and matching, like, I'm not opposed, but that changes the parameters so much.
Let's move out.
There we go. Let's burn these boys down. Who would play the best? Who would play Vulcan the best Primarch? See, you know, Be Happy said earlier, Michael Jackson because they're both dead. Jesus Christ. Listen, I already have to have my inhaler nearby. You can't say shit like that, Josh. That's so good though. Someone said earlier Christopher Judge, by the way, for Vulcan, and I have to agree. He played. He was the body actor for the most recent God of War games for Kratos. I know him from Stargate SG-1 as Teal'c. He did a great job. I think he would still continue to be a great casting for Vulcan. Oh shit! No, I tried to run away. I had a med kit. I was gonna jump into that room and drop it. Daniel Radcliffe as Lorgar? I don't know. That's a wild card for sure. Man. Wow. I would not have gone Daniel Radcliffe, but I don't absolutely hate it, so I can't say. I can't say that's bad. I can't say that that's a terrible choice. It's not my first pick, but that's not bad. That's a wild card for sure. The guy who did Thanos would be a great... Oh, wow. Yeah, actually, Luna, yeah. Yeah, Brolin will make a fantastic Magnus-like voice. I agree with you there. I haven't seen him in anything recently, so I can't say if he still would be, like, great. Who would Henry Cavill be? Genuinely speaking, I don't... It depends on the setting. It depends on when in the timeline we're going to. If we're going closer to contemporary, to modern timeline, like Dark Imperium, Plague Wars time, or even, like, God forbid, we just jump straight into where we are now with, like, the Arcs of Omen and shit. I could easily see him playing Titus. I don't know if he would. Willem Dafoe as Doge Van Dyer, that... Alright, I think you've won. If Willem Dafoe would play Doge Van Dyer, that would be amazing. We'd have to move quickly, because I don't think he's, we've got him around for too much longer, but him playing Doge would be really good. I have to agree with you there. Other than Ultramarines or Black Templars, who's GW's favorite chapter? Oh. Man. Blood Angels, probably. Now, who's a good, like, second child favorite Space Marine chapter? What I mean by that's, like, you have your obvious choices, like, who's, like, if you had to pick one that's not a well-known one that they really like. They've been all over the Raptors lately, for sure. I think the Raptors, the successor chapter to the Raven Guard, because they've, like, really brought a lot of them in. But if we're removing Ultramarines or Black Templars, probably Blood Angels. Followed by Space Wolves, I think. Because there's a lot of stuff that come out for Space Wolves, too. I was just saying, oh yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of him being involved in, recently, it was probably a show nobody watched, which was Sense8. But, the Indian guy from it's not really actually Indian, I know it's horrible, but the Indian guy from the show Heroes. I don't know if anyone remembers that show from 20 years ago. I think he would make a really good Magnus, but I don't think he's into acting as much anymore, and he's also a little on the shorter side. Get off me. I'm doing everything I can to help everybody out here right now.
To see you sell it. Over here. Will you stop regarding me so? It's disconcerting. True, suffering.
I've got an idol over here, and I don't have a weapon to shoot it with.
Sniper, kill it.
I'm just gonna sit here and wait. Oh, I tried to dodge. I tried to be cute. Should not have done that. Who would be the worst to play Horus? Oh man, the worst to play Horus? George Clooney. George Clooney, I think, would be the worst to play Horus. But if I had to pick somebody else that's not George Clooney, damn, that's a, see, like, I had an answer that was so quick, but I didn't have a deliberation. But besides George Clooney, because I just not a huge fan of George Clooney in general. I don't think he's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but he's good in very select roles. See, imagine an actor of Walter White. Oh, yeah, Bryan Cranston. That's actually, I don't know, that would be you. Worst Tom Hanks. The best is the guy that plays Drax. Oh, John. Yeah, I guess Dave Bautista wouldn't be terrible as Horus. It wouldn't be my first pick. Tom Hanks playing Horus would be like. That'd be pretty bad. I wish JD was here. He does a pretty good Tom Hanks going, oh no, like just constantly. Hi, baby cakes.
Okay, that's the amphitheater.
Say what?
You grabbed earlier will get you in. Find those
I didn't know you were here. I saw the dogs. I was like, oh yeah, I let them out not that long ago.
That roof's gonna make a hell of a racket.
How long have you been here?
Got your fighting trousers on.
Okay.
Whatever comes next, you'll do better as a group.
Tim Allen as the Blueberry leader that came back. Oh, what, Marnius? Oh, ooh, I don't know. That's I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Who do I think will make a very good Mortarion? Oh man, the guy that played Bucky and became the Winter Soldier in Marvel. I think he'd make a fantastic Mortarion. I really do. I think he'd make a fantastic Mortarion.
What did I do?
For sure. The one tating. Oh, you mean Gilliman? Sorry. Tim Allen is Gilliman? Oh God. I don't know. Man, I do.
That's what we came for. You know what to do. Captain, report
Jesus.
from the search teams. Enemy sighted in the amphitheater. All teams converge. Time to shine. Or get killed. One of the two.
Wow. I don't know. Are we still on worst castings? Because that's a funny one. But if not, I feel terrible for laughing. Who played, what's the name of the actor that played Elvis in the Elvis biopic? Who played, Sid Rotha in, Dune? He's been in a lot of stuff lately. He could make, I think he'd make a pretty solid Fulgrim. I would think. Or he also could make a pretty good Sanguinius. Is that what we need to do for the next stream? Is we just get together and make a tier list on who we would cast as certain characters in 40k? The Emperor would be easy to cast because most of his face would be covered in CGI. You're not wrong. Or he's dead in a chair, one of the two. Oh, shit. There's two snipers.
Disloyalty shall bring retribution.
Here we go. We got a lot of work to do.
Still down. Still need help. Getting angrier.
Oh, shit. There's a lot of Rangers. Oh, yep, never mind. I tried so bad. Let's see. Jared Leto and Christian Bale as moody emo Primarchs. You know what? I didn't think about that. Christian Bale would be a pretty good cast in there somewhere, I would think. Jared Leto, I don't hate, like I said, I just don't like Jared Leto, but he's not a bad character actor to cast, for sure. He could make Nick Cage is Big E. That's so funny. Having be a fucking Constantine Valdor, that would be hilarious. It's pretty funny that your response to a sniper was to go and stab him. Hey, well, I didn't have any weapon to properly shoot him with, so I was like, I'm gonna go stab you in the face. Why not? Now Nick Cage as a Custodes would work. Unfortunately, you are not wrong. It would be a pretty solid choice. I hate that that's the case, but it is the case. It's a pretty solid choice. That's not bad. I despise the fact that it's not bad, but that's not bad. Not even remotely. All right. Hi, Honorby. Yes, hello, buddy. Wow, Nick Cage. That's so funny. I wish I could do a Nick Cage impression. I can't. I'm not good at it. All I've got's the guy that does, like, the clue. Look, it's a clue all over again on social media. But that would be hilarious. That would be funny. Who played Nurgle or Slanesh? Well, see, that's just voice acting at that point. You know, weirdly enough, if we're going off voice acting and voice acting alone, I'd have to say the guy that did the Gravemind from Halo would be a fantastic choice for for uh, for voice acting for that. Music by Evanescence, D12, Nickelback, and other old bands trying to make a comeback. Well, we got to throw Creed in there. I love Creed, but we got to throw Creed in there if we're gonna do that.
Are you prepared to serve?
You know, when we have the meeting between Gilliman and the Lion, we're gonna have to have him play My Sacrifice. You know, they finally show up. We finally get to see the two finally interact for the first time in forever. You know, since the Horus Heresy, and we're just gonna start going around with "Hello, my friend, we meet a girl." Nice. So next up, all right, we're making pretty good progress as a community. This is nice. Titan AE is the closest we got to a 40K anime. You were not wrong, and what a fucking hit that movie was. I watched it a lot as a kid, purely because of Creed. I may not be a divorced individual nor a dad, but I embody divorced dad rock for sure. Power Man 5000 in a kids movie. You know what? We're gonna bring in the heavy eviscerator. Why not? Titus versus Malum Kaido. Who wins? Oh, listen. Okay, look. You can't just throw that out there and expect this to be an easy answer, okay? Because now you have to answer a question, okay? Now you have to answer a question, and that question is this. Is it Titus with the blessings of the Emperor versus Malum Kaido at peak? Like, both of them at peak? Or are we talking purely individual character skill set? Who wins? Because if it's purely individual character skill set, Malum Kaido mops the floor with Titus. There's no... Malum Kaido solos in an entire army of chaos and chaos corrupted and demons left and right by himself like a boss. Titus could maybe manage 15% of those kills, and that is with two other Space Marines in tow, right? Titus got his ass whooped as a firstborn from a Carnifex. Malum Kaido could never be that guy. Malum Kaido could never get just bodied by a Carnifex and have to be turned into a Primaris. That is not to say that Titus is not amazingly powerful, nearly died from a Carnifex, had to be turned into a Primaris out the gate just to save his life, which, by the way, is a 60 to 70% mortality rate, and he survives the transplantation, goes off, defeats an entire Chaos Warband, with help, by the way, while still recovering from that surgery, and then gets the laurels of victory to send on a suicide mission before he's fully recovered, right? Powerful stuff. Malum Kaido still mops the floor with him. But if the Emperor is still favoring him, there's no way Malum Kaido can win. Which is a shame, because Malum Kaido is the GOAT. Alright, well, let me swap characters real quick. I got maybe one more in me, and then I have to start thinking about making dinner for my wife and I, who has been home now for a little bit, apparently, and scared the crap out of me. Keith David gotta be Sergeant Johnson. Sergeant Avery Johnson, the staff sergeant of the UNSC military. He would be fantastic. Yeah, purely individual. Sorry, I didn't see that, Lord Nerd. Purely individual Malum Kaido. Every day, all day. There's no winning there. Malum Kaido kills about 10 Great Unclean Ones. Exactly. And in lore, a single Great Unclean One probably means the ending of your... world, right? Like, that's how powerful Great Unclean Ones are. I have, in my lore that I've developed for my house, my Great Knight house that I've been working on, I have a Porphyrion, only the most powerful knight that's ever been made. It's a Titan killer. killed a Great Unclean One, and if I was trying to make that lore friendly, if the Great Unclean One was not fully formed and was heavily damaged anyway. So, like, that's the only way the Porphyrion would have been able to win a one-on-one. Malum Kaido eats Great Unclean Ones for breakfast. Malum killed multiple demons by himself after crashing onto a planet. Correct. They made a 40K model of him in honor of his dedication. Talking about Malum Kaido, or... Oh, no, you mean Johnson. Yes. Either way, both of them, yes. Malum Kaido, like, I hate to say it. Final, if you're listening to me, I take your W where you can, my friend. The Ultramarines have some of the best characters. I hate that they have some of the best characters. I'd much prefer that the Ultramarines are hated universally by everybody, but they are pretty cool. I just hate the fact that they get plot armor from GW on a regular basis. But Malum Kaido, Dimitri and Titus, and as much as I want to make the joke, Marnius Calgar, pretty great characters. Uriel Ventress, unfortunately Caiaphas Cain. If I ever painted Ultramarines, I would make a Kit Bash Malum Kaido. Yes, you would, because Malum Kaido is the shit.
Moving to mating ground. Where are they? Please don't find you in the gutter.
Oh no, I thought I was going to be able to throw the grenade and make it fast. Oh well, at least I saved some people. Excuse me, I did not hit the button in time.
Cozy little place this is. Who the hell lives here by choice?
Ooh. Yeah, no, Ultramarines have some of the best characters, for sure.
Big boss hears everything.
God, I love the Vostroyan Firstborn. Someone in a painting competition you took part in did Malum Kaido for their entry. Malum Kaido is so cool. He's like one of the best characters. I mean, I love my boy Titus. Like, if I had to pick between the two of them who I like the most, it's Titus. But Malum Kaido's a very close second. And anytime I see someone make their character in Space Marine 2 look like Malum Kaido, it's great.
Regulations 8 to 112. Regular killing machine, that's me.
Get me on my feet!
I got you. Step. There we go.
Emperor's throne. I have missed being in the field.
I see Trevor.
Barrel explosion!
Oh shit. I was right behind you. Don't do that. That hurt my feelings.
I can offer you far more than this fool ever will. You can't get in there, Ed. There's no funny looking like me, but that don't matter.
I've got a shotgun!
Haha. Vostroyan Firstborn, man, are my favorite guard regiment, period. Like, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you're a fan of the Kriegs, but you think the Kriegs are just a little too grim, like, not in terms of, like, grim dark, but grim as in terms of outlook, and you want a happier, or I say happy, but, like, you want a more, I call them like the good guy Kriegs. The Vostroyan Firstborn are the way to go. They have a very similar story to the Kriegs. They constantly train and are dedicated to warfare like the Kriegs. They are a World War I inspired regiment, but their go-to is World War I Russia. Vostroyan Firstborn are the way to go.
Tighten it up! I don't want to die down here because you got sleepy. Sleepy? I'm anything but than firelight.
Excuse me.
Hey! keep talking.
Alright, the destroying costing so much being paid to order is insane. Iron Legion greater than Krieg. You know, I understand why people say that. Now, I'm assuming you mean the Armageddon Steel, or are you talking the Morty and Iron? Like, 'cause that's a good question. I'm assuming based on your outfit, we're going with the Armageddon Steel. So they are great. I like the Steel Legion. I like the Destroyan more personally, and then Krieg probably close second, and Valhallan a close third. Oh, you want Kislev so bad? Oh, let me tell you, I am still upset by Games Workshop. So when the Old World was coming out, they said that they weren't going to be doing They weren't going to be doing Kislev. They weren't going to be doing the Grand Cafe. They weren't going to be doing either of them. They ended up doing Grand Cafe. We still haven't seen Kislev. They're worried about, I think it was reports that they're worried about the Ukrainian war. They're worried about making them from the Ukrainian war because there's a lot of sensitivity. But it's not like World War One or like the White Russians are anywhere close to the modern day Russian Federation, which are closer to the Soviets than anything. And like no one in like a lot of the Russian people weren't huge fans of the Soviets, so I don't think the Ukrainians would mind. But you know how it is, political optics. But yeah, 90 for the squad. It now comes 6 months later. Now that is BS. I have to agree with you there. Oh fuck.
Adopting low profile.
All right, I got him. We're good. I want my angry Russian Elsa's with cats. Yes. Jesus. I see. I want to get the Vistorian stuff. I knew it was going to be expensive, and it is. And I knew there was going to be a massive wait list, because there is. If I had to build my own guard regiments, like where that wasn't like a homebrew, and I will be doing my custom at some point, but if I had to do one that wasn't a custom, I would be getting as many of those Vistorian pieces as possible, or kit bashing my entire force to the Vistorians. I just don't want to have to buy Krieg and make them look like Vistorians. That's the only thing I don't want. Considering Ukraine has 40k themed units, namesakes, and Russian legit making real purity scrolls for gear, I think they're okay with it. I agree. I don't think it's a problem. Why is my mouse? Oh shit. My mouse is bugging out. There we go. Should fix it. Oh shit. But yeah, I don't think it'd be a massive issue. I don't think the Ukrainians would mind. I think really what it comes down to is GW didn't want to make the sculpts. I don't think GW had great confidence that the Old World was going to sell very well. I think they knew that they had a pretty large fan base with Warhammer Total War, and the Warhammer role-playing game, weirdly enough, being major reasons why Warhammer Fantasy's popularity has only continued to skyrocket, especially since the death of Warhammer Fantasy. Which, we can talk about why Warhammer Fantasy was dying. We could absolutely talk about why Warhammer Fantasy was dying. I think there's like a long, you know, fuck it, we're just gonna get into it, right? So GW canceled Warhammer Fantasy because Warhammer Fantasy wasn't selling very well, right? And they wanted to get out from underneath it. There was a lot of models that they were making. They weren't selling very well. 2 editions had sold very poorly. And GW was like, okay, we need to get out from underneath this. So they came up with Age of Sigmar. Another reason that they did this was around the same time that they killed Warhammer Fantasy and did Age of Sigmar. They also started working on they also started working on like the revamp for 40k, like the soft reboot for 40k. Why do they call them Astartes now? Why do we have Primaris, Space Marines, all of that stuff? It's very simple. They wanted something that was copyrightable. They wanted to come up with their own name. You can't copyright Space Marine. They tried, and they still try. If you use Space Marine as a major part of your marketing, they still try to sue you for copyright infringement, right? That or trademark infringement. That Space Marine is part of GW's trademark. They have been told repeatedly in their own home courts as well as courts around the world that Space Marine is too generic of a term. You cannot trademark Space Marine. You do not own the trademark to the term, right? So they've lost repeatedly. They still try, but they lost repeatedly in court to try to trademark the term Space Marine, right? The reason that's important is they went to Primaris Space Marines, which are now something that are completely trademarkable. Orcs, even if you spell it differently with a K, medieval history, so basically like the Holy Roman Empire, dwarves, elves, all of that, dark elves, light elves, high elves, wood elves, whatever you want to call them, right? They're not distinct enough to be their own thing. They are considered in many countries just non-trademarkable public domain terms. Again, whether or not you agree with that is completely irrelevant. That's the situation that they have going on there, right? So when they made Age of Sigmar, they changed everything to be trademarkable. No longer are they dwarves, they're Duarden, right? They have different cultures now. And they're no longer elves, they're Aelves, or Aelves, with an A in front of it, because that's very different, right? They're no longer lizard folk, because that's too generic. They're Seraphon, right? So, you know, they're no longer high elves, they're Lumineth. Or the deep, or like sea elves are no longer sea elves; they're the Ideneth, and the dark elves are Umbraneth, right? Very, very distinct, right? And that was the same thing with 40k. They started changing things to be trademarkable. So Warhammer Fantasy, again, they needed to get rid of it. They were also like going under. They weren't selling very well. They were spending too much money. The model ranges were too large. So they come up with the Age of Sigmar, and they get rid of Warhammer Fantasy by killing it off. The reason why it wasn't selling very well had nothing to do with it losing popularity. It was slowly gaining in popularity. The problem is that the vast majority of purchases were done by repeat customers, right? These people are going out buying models, and they're trying to get involved with like how the rules for each edition are. But for 2 editions in a row, I think this was 6th and 7th edition for Warhammer Fantasy, they were really pushing a competitive meta. They were really wanted to push people down the competitive route to make Warhammer Fantasy Battles the premier competitive tabletop game to rival that of 40k in terms of popularity with its competitive scene. And people who played fantasy, they weren't about that. That's just like holdovers from back when GW was a much smaller company. They were more story oriented, they were more fun oriented, and fantasy was always kind of that same way. And the massive domination of the competitive meta really pushed a lot of people away from Warhammer Fantasy, which is like a shame, because it stopped selling. And it stopped selling because people didn't want to be involved in very toxic metas that pushed people down very clear, distinct routes that they had to if they wanted to be competitively viable with the meta. And this kind of just led to this mass exodus of players after 2 editions. So they were no longer, like, people weren't buying the codexes anymore. They were just sticking with the codexes that they already had for older editions. People weren't showing up for tournaments as much anymore. So like the competitive scene started really drying out. So they decided they were going to use this as an opportunity. They wanted to change a lot of the stuff anyway to be trademarkable. They wanted to get out from underneath the heavy weight of the lore. They thought the models were too much. They wanted to scale back the models. So the Age of Sigmar was the perfect choice, right? Okay. So this all ties back to the whole Kislev stuff, I promise. But so they finally come up with the old world, right? The popularity of Warhammer Fantasy, has, especially thanks to Total War Warhammer, has just been skyrocketing. People are loving Warhammer Fantasy. It's exposing a whole new generation of people to this wonderful universe. People are going around like clamoring. Oh, that hurt. Clamoring, asking for like, hey, how do I get into this? I really like this world. But fantasy roleplay is like the only place to go to get into it, which is not even like, they sell licenses for that. They don't actually like there's no longer like official like work from Games Workshop with it. They basically sold the rights to another company entirely. Whereas like a lot of the like Age of Sigmar roleplay stuff or 40K roleplay stuff, GW has a much stronger. I cannot get up there. Has a much stronger like connection to the rule sets and have a much stronger say. So they decided, hey, we're going to come up with Warhammer the Old World, right? And I think this is where the conspiracy theory comes in. I don't think they expected Warhammer the Old World to be as popular as it is. Because for a very long while there, it was insanely popular for like tournaments and like a lot of game stores. Like that was the main game outside of 40K that was being played was Warhammer Fantasy. Is Summer napping? No, she is not. She's taking a shower.
You're in the refinery. Keep it together and you'll get this done.
Get me out of this! Fucking smoke!
Sorry, I got distracted there. So I don't think they're expecting it to do well. So I think they were going to bring it back, and they were going to get like a lot of the models in it are just old sculpts that are redone, that they're just doing in plastic now. Some of them are still metal. They're not bringing a lot of new sculpts into it. Oh, I got downed. Damn it. Yeah, ow, that hurts. Leave me alone. So, like, I think that they were expecting to bring it back, to bring back a lot of the old guard, make a little bit of a quick buck, but then have them turn around and say, hey, financially speaking, this is a bit of a failure. It's not selling as well as we thought. Then, because, like, they had much smaller runs than they do for both AOS and for 40K for obvious reasons, because 40K is, like, super, super popular. But they were selling out left and right for, like, months. They were selling out. Which is, to me, is insane, right? They were selling out so much that I think that they sold too well, and they had to report it to their investors that like it was selling insanely well, and that they had to turn around and I can't get back up there. I'm so sorry, Banshee. Damn. That now, like, they're like, oh, well, damn, now it's doing well enough. Let's go ahead and release Grand Cathay, which the models for Grand Cathay look fantastic, by the way. I really believe, like, they're really pretty sculpts. But they weren't going to do them originally. They weren't going to do Grand Cathay or Kislev because they didn't have models before. And so I think this was a good, convenient excuse to not do any new models and then turn around. Oh, no. It's selling really well. Like, we might have to push forward. Oh, shit. Well, that was unfortunate. I got launched off the map. It's up to Scrandy to save us. Yeah, so anyway, so they eventually did come up with Grand Cathay, which sold really, really well. The sculpts are really, really pretty, and I think that they don't want to do Kislev, and I think it's a convenient enough excuse to not do Kislev, because I think what they're doing now... by the way, there are certain scientific papers showing what appears to be dark matter forming a crack across the Milky Way. Is this the Skitarii Maledictum? Are you telling me we got the Skitarii Maledictum forming? That's crazy. Yeah, I think what's happening here now is AOS might actually get AOS. It might get turned into the last world. I think it's a very distinct possibility that it could happen. And if they do that, I think that's their way to capitalize on the old world success, the love for Warhammer Fantasy, but stick with the I guess the universe and the timeline and the models and the lore that they developed for AOS. I think that's a possibility that could happen. Kislev should be an old world and AOS combo crossover. I think it could happen. We're going down the wrong timeline. Listen, we need to find the space elves and stop them. All right, because that's once Slaanesh gets born, that's when things go south. But yeah, I think it could have. It's a distinct possibility that the last world could be a thing. AOS gets AOS, gets destroyed just like the old world did, and then they basically rebirth it as a reincarnation version of the old world with all of the AOS models that exist. It's a distinct possibility. I don't like that. I love the look of Warhammer Fantasy. It's what got me into Warhammer as a whole. Like the Space Wolves were what got me into Space Marines and 40k as a whole. Like, I love Warhammer Fantasy. Sigmar is fantastic. Karl Franz is my guy, my favorite character from Warhammer Fantasy. My second favorite model, so I'm working on 2 scripts right now. My second favorite model I want to talk about in my second video that I'm working on comes from Warhammer Fantasy. It now costs more than a Warlord Titan if you can find the original pieces, and that is the you know what? Here, actually, we're gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and quit because I need to go ahead and get ready to start like picking up the house a little bit, get cooking dinner. My wife is not feeling very well, so I'm gonna try to make sure that she's okay and taken care of. But let me close this down real quick. We're gonna pull this up here. I'm gonna close this down. Enjoy my. Oh, we're gonna close that so we don't see my script yet. I'm sure you could pause it and read part of it. Enjoy my background. It is gonna change repeatedly. Let's see. So this, if you find this model, in the actual model, not the modern day 3D reprintings of it, this is what pops up. So it's actually worth more now than a Warlord Titan. This is the Marienburg class landship, my absolute second favorite model. It is, Stolas would hate it. It is goofy looking. It is dumb, but it is dumb and goofy looking in the best possible way. I mean, it is a ship on land with a steam engine in the back, multiple cannons, an entire crew that sits on top. I think this is one of the last remaining actual versions of the model that are out there. I think this person's also, they sold this model. They sold this for $3,200 US, and they have put up the sculpt for people to 3D scan it to make 3D print files for it.
Battery low.
Thank you, headset. This is it is like the dumbest freaking model I've ever seen. I love this so much. You got big cannons, guys with rifles all over it, blunderbuss shooting off. You got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the crow's nest, 10, 11 guys that you can see in this screenshot alone. This is such a stupid model, but it is my favorite model that GW has ever. My second favorite model that they've ever produced. If he cast this Knight Porphyrion tops it, this is my second favorite model. My third favorite model, a good friend of mine helped me secure, and that is Karl Franz on Deathwing. This model right here. Now I think it's called Free Guild General, although I think now it's just Empire General because they use it for the old world. But this model is the Emperor Karl Franz on the back of his Griffin. That is sick. I love this model. Second, this is my third favorite model, followed by the land ship, followed by the which is following the Acastus Knight Porphyrion. So freaking good. So freaking good. Daughters of Cain, our leader, Power Top Slanesh from Powers, and left it on scene the next day. I have a lot of words to say about Marathi. The Lord of the Rings, Mammoth Smog, and Balrog are epic. Nazgul too. Listen, I mean, there's so many good models that GW makes. But Theradul's scenic base that goes around the mini so you can play it and display it is peak drama queen. All right, Lord Nerd, thank you so much. I hope you have a good night, brother, man. I'm actually wrapping up here now. I gotta get everything shut down. So yeah, that is my my second and third favorite models. I'm actually working on a video talking about them coming up. There's the Emperor's Champion, just for those of you who want to see some kick-ass 40k backgrounds. I have this cycling. So, I just want to say again, thank you everybody for showing up today. It's been a lot of fun. I really do appreciate it. You guys are fantastic. Yeah, yo Wizard, how you doing? Sorry I'm late. You know, Luke, I'm doing all right. I'm actually hopping off. I gotta go cook dinner and clean up the house a little bit, but I'm doing fantastic. But yeah, if you guys liked what you saw, I greatly appreciate a like on the video. It does help out quite a bit. If you didn't like what you saw, I want to say thank you all so much for watching as much as you have. I'm going to try to shoot for a little bit of live streaming tomorrow, but I'm really going to start buckling down and working on my scripts for the videos. I'd like to try to knock out some audio recording later as well. So I'm really working hard on getting into the content side of things. I'm trying to do at least a video a week. So we'll see if I can manage to do that. I'm also working on some stuff in the background for some podcast stuff that I've been working on with a good friend of mine, JD, and my dad as well, weirdly enough. So I'll catch you all later. Thank you so much, and